After passing through a dense forest, the full view of Huanghun Medicine Valley came into sight. Compared to the other families in Beiyangdao, which often have medicine gardens spanning hundreds of acres, the Bai family's medicine garden is much smaller, covering only a little over 50 acres, but it is exceptionally well managed. As far as the eye could see, all sorts of spirit plants thrived with vitality, the multicolored heavenly materials and earthly treasures absorbing nature's spiritual energy, echoing the resplendent golden sunlight from the sky above. Auspicious light enveloped the valley, resembling an otherworldly paradise, or an immortal's cave mansion. However, at this moment, crowds of rough people intruded, disrupting the peaceful and harmonious scenery where heaven and earth coexisted. People from Ronghua City, the Demon Suppression Department, and the Shangyun sect all gathered in front of the medicine garden. Chun Sansi was also among them. He scanned the surroundings and saw that more than 70% of the spirit plants planted in these spiritual lands were, in fact, no more than first-rank spirit plants. Only at the center did the spirit light dazzle, with a ray pattern circulating, where many heavenly materials and earthly treasures beyond the first rank were growing. But the exact grade and age were indiscernible due to the distance. "We can't go any further." Eh? The admonitions of Bai Linshuan and the others had no effect. Zhang Jincheng directly rode a flying sword into the core area of the medicine garden. The hostility and mana fluctuation he brought caused the originally water wave-like array patterns to fluctuate violently, until they completely collapsed after being thoroughly disrupted. The azure-blue formation ceased, leading to a significant drop in the spiritual energy concentration in the entire area. Some crimson flowers visibly withered rapidly, looking as if a once blazing flame was about to extinguish. These few spirit plants are called Heavenly Fire Vermilion Bird Lotus, extremely precious spirit plants prepared by Elder Yu Ling specifically for her disciple. Bai Liangbi walked over with a gloomy face. "This item is very delicate, and we spent a considerable amount of money and laid down a feng shui array to barely cultivate it to near maturity. And now you've recklessly barged in, causing at least a century's worth of medicinal age loss. When the set time comes and we can't submit qualified medicinal materials, please, at that time, let Taoist Zhang explain to Elder Yu Ling. Heavenly Fire Vermilion Bird Lotus." Zhang Jincheng did not respond, merely repeating the name of the medicinal plant in his mouth, then calmly said, "If I remember correctly, this Heavenly Fire Vermilion Bird Lotus requires the best environment of a third-rank top-grade spirit field, or even a fourth-rank spirit field to grow, and it takes 1,200 years to mature and flower. And this medicine garden, even with the feng shui array, the spiritual energy concentration wouldn't exceed second tier, far from meeting the growth conditions. And furthermore, how many years has the Bai family been in Beiyangdao? Where did you get millennium-aged medicinal plants? Family head Bai, can you answer me?" Bai Liangbi remained silent for a moment before saying, "This spirit plant was already near maturity when it was found. It was merely transplanted into the valley." "All right, then." Zhang Jincheng paused, then changed the subject to the ground. "What about these medicinal plants? Were they all transplanted halfway here?" In the core area of the medicine garden, there were at least 7 or 8 millennium-aged medicinal plants, including a large number of undying grass. "So what if they are? So what if they aren't?" Bai Liangbi's eyes twitched. "This is the Bai family's private territory. What does it have to do with you? This is outrageous." The rest of the Bai family members could no longer bear it. "You say you're investigating demon cultivators, intruding into the Medicine Valley is fine, but now you've seen it, you've investigated it, and has there been anyone you're looking for? If not, then why don't you leave? And now you're pointing at our spirit plants. What does it have to do with you?" "Who says it doesn't matter?" The city lord Jiangshang smirked and coldly said, "I've heard that demon cultivators have a method of using living people's blood to nourish spirit plants, accelerating their growth. And the millennium-aged medicinal plants in your Bai family's medicine garden are clearly abnormal. Who knows, they might have used a similar method." He Jiangshang. Only at this moment did the Bai family ancestor Bai Shifeng leisurely arrive, sneering, "If you want them, just say it. At worst, we'll give you all these millennium-aged medicinal plants. No, the whole medicine garden can be yours. What do you mean by that? Jiang Shang retorted. You think Jiang aims to covet these medicinal plants? Bai Liangbi stared directly at him. Otherwise, what a joke. Jiang Shang looked up. I think your Bai family has a guilty conscience. Elder Bai. Zhang Jincheng interrupted the quarrel, looking at the one-armed elder. Junior suggests you still explain clearly the anomalies in the Medicine Valley to avoid slander. After all, associating with demon cultivators and feeding spirit plants with the blood and flesh of righteous path cultivators, it's not unheard of before. Rest assured. As long as it's not heretical, even if Dusk Valley has great opportunities, Shengyun's sect can promise that no outsiders will intervene, including Ronghua City and the Demon Suppression Department. Bai Shifeng slowly said, Young Taoist Zhang, do you really need to know? Absolutely. Zhang Jincheng was relentless. All right then. Bai Shifeng sighed and reached into his embrace. Ancestor. Seeing this, Bai Liangbi and the others were visibly tense, wanting to step forward to stop him, but it was already too late. When the one-armed elder extended his hand again, a transparent glazed bottle appeared in his palm, containing a verdant liquid. As the golden crow's radiance pierced through its body, the liquid sparkled with spirit light, like a green star river cradled in his hand. What is this? Zhang Jincheng frowned and took a few steps closer, unable to recognize the object inside the glazed bottle in a short time. This is the essence of the nine-colored divine tree. Bai Shifeng explained its origins. Nine-colored golden feather birch divine tree? The 8th Prince Zhao Sun searched his mind. One of the ancestors of 10,000 trees from ancient times, according to legend? Correct. Bai Shifeng gazed at the glazed bottle in his hand, narrating, the nine-colored golden feather birch divine tree is one of the supreme divine trees from ancient times, known as the Tree of Life. It is said that consuming its fruit can grant 10,000 years of lifespan, and swallowing its leaves can bestow 1,000 years of mana, a treasure contested by even the mighty of ancient times. The spiritual liquid in my hand was extracted from this tree. Though it cannot increase lifespan and mana, it possesses an extremely unique effect. That is to accelerate the maturation of spirit plants. You only need to pour the spiritual liquid onto the seedlings of the spirit plants to allow them to grow at 100-fold or 1,000-fold speeds, regardless of living conditions. This is why you see so many 1,000-year-old medicinal herbs in Medicine Valley. This spiritual liquid is also the foundation of my Bai family's existence. Where did it come from? Zhang Jincheng probed deeper. Extreme north, ancient ruins. Bai Shifeng shared openly. This was obtained by my Bai family ancestors at the risk of their lives. Before this, the Bai family didn't have a settled territory, merely acting as a silver token commander within the Demon Suppression Department, a fact well known to all. After obtaining the spiritual liquid, they moved to Beiyangdao and rapidly rose as the top martial arts family in Beiyangdao, only to encounter sudden decline later on. Indeed, the timeline matches. Extreme north, ancient ruins? Chun Sansi captured the keywords. He still held his master's will, which also mentioned the extreme north, rumored to be directly related to the ceiling. I see. Zhang Jincheng found no flaws. It seems the junior has misunderstood. Upon learning the origin of the spiritual liquid, everyone's pupils filled with yearning. Divine wood spirit liquid. With this bottle, given time and no accidents, it could elevate a family to sect status. This thing in the Bai family's hands truly seemed wasted. Heh! There's no need to be excited. Bai Shifeng held the glazed bottle. The ancestor discovered that the nine-colored divine tree was nearing death at the time, so the extracted spiritual liquid was imperfect. It can at most mature heavenly materials and earthly treasures of 1,500 years. Beyond that it will be counterproductive, and after years of consumption only half remains, barely enough to nurture one more generation. I've said everything I can. Young Taoist Zhang, do you need me to offer the spiritual liquid for your sect to take back and examine thoroughly? He spoke, moving the glazed bottle forward. Zhang Jincheng glanced at it but didn't accept, instead gently clasping his hands, saying, Senior Bai. This belongs to the Bai family. No one is entitled to take it. I never intended to, truly just investigating the whereabouts of the demon cultivators. After all, as a prominent sect, even basic dignity must remain unaffected. I thought so too. Bai Shifeng put away the spiritual liquid. Shangyun's sect is the champion leader of Beiyang Dao, a place of yearning for cultivators like us, acting with integrity, never engaging in theft and plunder. However, his eyes glanced at Ronghua City's people and the Demon Suppression Department. Some petty individuals may not be so scrupulous. The divine with spirit liquid has been exposed today, inevitably attracting the covetous eyes of petty individuals. It's likely that robbery cultivators might appear next. Could young Taoist Zhang inform Elder Shizhongzi to provide protection? The Bai family would be most grateful. Beiyang Dao is the territory of Shangyun's sect, naturally not allowing such incidents to occur. Zhang Jinsheng softened his tone a bit. All right, we've investigated, and since the Bai family is innocent, we shouldn't continue to inconvenience you. Previously, there were many offenses, and all implicated spiritual beasts and spirit plants will be compensated with the corresponding price in spirit stones as an apology. Moreover, 8th Prince, City Lord Jiang, both of your families should stop troubling Dusk Valley, and instead, come together to deal with the 7 Kill Sect's demon disciples. Farewell. With that said, he led the disciples of Shangyun's sect skyward using sword control. Wang Jun followed behind, yet from beginning to end didn't utter a word, seemingly wanting no one to notice him. This guy. Chan Sansi watched the others back, his own cultivation realm steadily rising, his heart full of admiration. He certainly has depth. City Lord Jiang, 8th Prince. Bai Shifeng spoke. Are you two planning to spar with this old man? Strangely, after the Shangyun sect people left, both Jiang Shang and the 8th Prince's previous hostility vanished without a trace, and no one showed their emotions anymore, as if they intentionally stoked the conflict earlier. Bai Shifeng. Jiang Shang's gaze turned from furious to sinister. You don't have many years left. Regarding the matter we talked about last time, I hope you consider it carefully. City Lord Jiang. This old man's health is still fine. No need to worry. Bai Shifeng's hair and beard floated. Moreover, this old man wants to remind both you and the 8th Prince. Greed will only lead to downfall. Don't be too avaricious in your actions. Zhao Sun didn't respond. He just waved his arm. Let's go. The vast crowd began to withdraw, quickly leaving Medicine Valley entirely, leaving behind a mess on the ground and a few withered spirit plants. Disguised as a Bai family junior, Chun Sansi also quietly slipped away while no one was paying attention. In his mind, he replayed what had just happened, feeling that something was amiss. Great Zhe Main Peak. Zhang Jincheng and Wang Jun arrived at the mountain summit one after the other. The immortal and Taoist-like Shizhongzi did not turn back, still sitting cross-legged on the ground, gazing at the beautiful mountain and river view ahead, calmly speaking, How did it go? In response to the elder, Zhang Jincheng gently cupped his hands. I went to see it. The Bai family indeed has something. Recently, disturbances have been frequent in Beiyang Dao with many matters involving the Bai family, leading the Shangyun sect to suspect something. Thus, they sent people to investigate today. He described in detail what he saw today. After listening, Shizhongzi was slightly surprised. It's really the 9-colored divine tree? These Bai family juniors have quite the fortune, obtaining the divine with spirit liquid. If they had martial arts heritage, they might have broken through to the 3rd realm by now, and with further accumulation they could establish a sect. What a waste of heavenly resources! Zhang Jincheng lamented. If that half bottle of spirit liquid were in our sect's hands, at least 2 more could reach the core formation realm. Ask them for some. Shizhongzi paused. Don't be too excessive. Remember to offer some benefits. Wang Jun, handle this matter. As you command. Dusk Valley. Lakeview Tower. Several Bai family brothers gathered here, discussing the earlier events. Humph. Bai Lao Sen sat down grumbling. They simply don't see us as human. even talking about compensating us with spirit stones. Today's losses can't be measured by spirit stones. But speaking of which, it turns out the clan treasure of our family is the divine wood spirit liquid? In fact, before today, the majority of them didn't know what was inside Medicine Valley. Only the family head and old two knew the details. Where are the eldest ones? They went to the ancestral hall to discuss matters. Dusk Valley Back Mountain by Family Ancestral Hall. Today we barely managed to smooth things over. Bai Liangbi heaved a long sigh of relief. If that thug Shizhongzi found out the truth, our clan would be wiped out in an instant. Indeed, Bai Linshuan echoed. The 9-colored divine with spirit liquid, which we've rarely used, finally came in handy, and also Zhao Sun and his crew were cooperative. They are the most afraid. Bai Liangbi sneered. After all, if the item were really taken out, it wouldn't be their turn. Ashamed as I am to my Bai ancestors. The one-armed elderly man looked at the rows of memorial tablets in front, speaking hoarsely. The item might not be able to be preserved. Lin Xuan, go invite the people from Qingshu sect. This. Bai Liangbi hesitated slightly, but eventually agreed. I understand. After Chun Sansi left Medicine Valley, he concealed himself in a deserted place until he confirmed that all of Dusk Valley was safe before returning to his cave mansion. Before he reached the place, he saw a figure waiting at the entrance. Family head Bai. After greeting, Chun Sansi straightforwardly said, I already know about today's matter. If it involves me implicating the Bai family, I can choose not to return.
Daoist Xiao, you jest.
Bai Liangbi gently shook his head and said, the search was just a pretense. Even without you, they would have found other reasons to break in. You cannot be blamed for this. But speaking of it, Taoist, you actually have connections with people from the demon-slaying sect and the Eastern continent? A few days ago, the commotion caused by that group was indeed significant, killing more than 100 righteous Beiyang Dao cultivators, almost considered the biggest case in a century. In the past, even when evil cultivators caused trouble, it was basically a game of cat and mouse, hiding throughout the day. Where would they dare to come out openly to confront? To deal with the Li family, relying on me alone is naturally impossible. Chun Sansi candidly said, the demon-slaying sect and the divine continent are forces not to be ignored. In fact, I suggest to family head by that if one day the situation spirals out of control and there's no retreat, perhaps consider withdrawing to the Great Han's side. No need for Taoist Xiao to recruit them. Cooperation is possible, but submission is absolutely out of question. Bai Liangbi calmly stated, first, the Eastern continent's spiritual energy is scarce. If we cultivators fall there, we would only struggle to survive. Secondly, the Shangyun sect has been busy with the sealing matter, and it is estimated that the seal will be opened in the coming years. By then, the sect will flood in, and they themselves may be unable to secure their own safety, let alone shelter others? Moreover, I also do not suggest Taoist Xiao to get too close to those mortals. They are, at most, only a foundation establishment-level family and cannot achieve much. I have sent a message to the Qingshu sect, and I believe that someone will be sent soon. By that time, our Bai family might move as a whole, and I hope Taoist Xiao can follow. After relocation, all conditions will only be better than those in Dusk Valley, not worse. Taoist Xiao should think it over carefully. Relocation. Chun Sansi, unable to inquire further, could only say, I will consider it carefully. Since you know what happened during the day, you must also know about the divine wood spirit liquid. Bai Liangbi said, to express our sincerity, the Bai family can help Taoist cultivate a spirit plant with a 1,000-year medicinal age. Chun Sansi knew this was their way of trying to retain him. He was not polite either. Then I won't decline. Once you decide what you want, just let me know. Bai Liangbi did not say more and brushed past him, disappearing quickly. Chun Sansi looked at the footprints left by the other party, feeling that something was amiss. Something strange. He had already noticed something was off when he was in Medicine Valley. It must be known that the conflicts between the Bai family and the Demon Suppression Department were not just a day or two old. Similar situations had occurred years back. In the past 2 years, these people have clearly shown a desire to obtain the Bai family's treasures while not daring to let the Shengyun sect know the inside story. Since they had meticulously planned for so long, why would they recklessly storm Dusk Valley, attracting the Shengyun sect, exposing everything all at once? Either they were so foolish they didn't foresee the Shengyun sect's arrival, or it was intentional. The two parties reached a certain understanding, using this method to deceive the Shengyun sect. In other words, the so-called nine-color divine with spirit liquid was just a smokescreen. The Bai family's true clan treasure had not been exposed. Realizing this, Chun Sansi was somewhat surprised, because the divine with spirit liquid was already immensely valuable, and just the half-bottle seen today was enough to forge more than 2 golden core cultivators. If they were still hiding something, it could only mean the item was more precious than the divine with spirit liquid. What could be more valuable than something that guarantees the cultivation of golden cores? No wonder the undercurrents in Beiyangdao were surging. Probably most of the reasons were aimed at this item. Combining what Chen Sansi knew, the Bai family, the Li family, and the Demon Suppression Department were negotiating, likely discussing the division of the true treasure, which, for now, was not agreed upon. If this is the case, then the chaos is far from over. What happens next will depend on what the Qingshu sect does. Because the message conveyed by the Bai family was clear. They wanted to offer the item to the Qingshu sect in exchange for protection. If the Qingshu sect truly sends someone here, Chun Sansi might try to make contact to see if he can seek reinforcements, even if unwilling to help, attempting to secure a retreat for the court's core personnel through the Qingshu sect, such as a hidden hiding place. No one in the world can guarantee victory. One must always act with the belief of success. Presently, Chun Sansi needs to prepare for 2 things. First, the control of the transmission array in Daesfang City, and second, the preparation for the imminent 9 Nether Forbidden Land trial. Without hesitation, after disguising himself, he arrived at Daesfang City with a new face, intending to arrange a meeting with Shaozhu Peak's Chu Lingchuan through loose cultivator Mo Zhu, but did not find the old man at the usual stall, so he had to wait at the residence. It wasn't until dusk that he saw Mo Zhu slowly walking over holding a wine gourd. After not seeing each other for some time, the old man had become even more aged, walking with a hunched body, with robes showing signs of damage, as if he had been in a fight not long ago. After inquiring, it was discovered that the other party is going to Chiliang Mountain for hunting. Chun Sansi casually remarked, "Mr. Mo, as a talisman master, why would you engage in such a risky transaction?" Mo Zhu took a sip and clicked his tongue. "I'm not very ambitious. I've been stuck at the qi refining middle stage my whole life. But I have to consider the future of my descendants, right? Recently, various sects are recruiting disciples. My grandson is neither exceptionally talented nor mediocre, and needs some arrangements to have a chance at entry level as an outer disciple. This Taoist looks unfamiliar. Were you introduced here by a friend? Are you here to buy talismans, or do you need me to do something? Help me to meet someone." Chun Sansi took out 2 spirit stones. In the tavern 50 miles outside the city, he detailed his requirements. "Sure thing." Mo Zhu didn't ask a single additional question. 2 hours later, Chun Sansi was waiting in a mortal tavern, expecting the person he arranged to meet. Chu Lingchuan, with his hands behind his back, subtly forming a mantra, stood at the tavern doorway, cautiously examining the people inside, then carefully proceeded to the table. Chun Sansi, following suit, revealed Xiao Feng's appearance. "Is that you?" Chu Lingchuan stepped back half a step. "Taoist Xiao, we have no grievances or enmity. Why have you invited me here today? Is there something you wish to discuss?" Several years ago, after the commotion at Little Bamboo Peak, he hadn't seen this person again. Then came the recent Luoxia Mountain incident. In his eyes, Xiao Feng is deeply concealing his abilities, an extremely dangerous character, whom he prefers to avoid. "Brother Chu, no need to be nervous." Chun Sansi gestured for him to sit down, proactively pouring tea. "I've invited you here today to see if there's anything during your cultivation journey that I might assist with." Chu Lingchuan sat down warily, not touching the tea. "Taoist Xiao, in light of past dealings, I won't reveal your presence, but please speak directly, without beating around the bush. I wish to acquire a transmission array. Chan Sansi paused, then added, the one connecting Daesfang City and the eastern continent. I know Brother Chu is in charge of formation defenses. Chu Lingchuan frowned. Taoist Xiao, I am the tributor and law enforcement elder at the Steward Hall, and I absolutely won't collaborate with evil cultivators. Let's pretend we never met today. Don't seek me in the future. He spoke, then made a gesture to leave. Brother Chu. Chan Sansi intensified his tone. Stuck at mid-stage foundation establishment for over 20 years now, right? If you don't break through to the later stage within the next 10 years, there's likely no chance of forming a core in your lifetime. Chu Lingchuan glanced sideways. What, might Taoist Xiao help me form a core? Naturally, I can't do that. Chan Sansi said, but what I'm willing to give Brother Chu is definitely more than what the Li family can offer. If there's resources in the future that can aid in core formation, I pledge to prioritize you. My word is my bond. Forgive my bluntness, but if you continue in your current stagnant state, your immortal path may very well end here. Chu Lingchuan stared at the sky outside the window. After a long silence he said, I need a breakthrough pill. When can you acquire it? We'll discuss cooperation then. With that, he left without looking back. Breakthrough pill. Chan Sansi quickly referenced the information from the texts he had read. A breakthrough pill, as the name implies, is specifically used to assist cultivators stuck in a bottleneck to break through their realm, worth a significant amount. The pill recipe isn't rare, but its costliness lies in requiring a 1,000-year herb known as Phoenix Stone Beast. Although the name suggests beast, it is actually a spiritual spirit plant, named for its ability to devour spiritual beasts and live beings. The Phoenix Stone Beast is rare to encounter, more so those exceeding 1,000 years old, making it a coveted treasure for all Foundation establishment cultivators. Moreover, it's especially suited for magic cultivation's heavenly materials and earthly treasures, unlikely to be found in Dusk Valley. The quickest way Chan Sansi could think of to obtain it might be the 9 nether restricted lands. This neighbor from Little Bamboo Peak certainly set a high price. But it's worth it. Only by controlling the transmission array can the army advance and retreat freely. Moreover, if he indeed finds such an item, Chan Sansi can alter the pill recipe, crafting elixirs to aid early-stage Foundation establishment, benefiting both parties. Phoenix Stone Beast. He silently memorized the name, marking it as his primary target within the 9 nether restricted lands. Having made up his mind, Chan Sansi did not linger and returned once again to the cave mansion in Dusk Valley to commence long-term closed-door training. The forbidden area had not yet opened, but time must not be wasted in vain. In the blink of an eye, for full months had passed. Cultivation technique, swallowing fire technique, early-stage Foundation establishment, progress, 35 to 500. Advancement in the immortal realm progressed slowly. But considering Chan Sansi was only 35 years old, and at this age, a Foundation establishment cultivator was certainly considered young in the cultivation world. The progress of the Dragon Scripture was also extremely challenging. He estimated that before the opening of the forbidden area, he could open another Jingshin. After tiring from cultivating various techniques, he would shift his focus to the 100 skills of immortal cultivation. Foremost came the puppetry technique. During the closed-door training, Chan Sansi would spend 1 to 2 hours daily remotely controlling the puppet at the Boundless Hall in Skywall City to handle governmental affairs. But 2 hours is still time. According to the records of the heavenly calculation of 10,000 soldiers, if one could cultivate the puppetry technique to a certain level, they could multitask. By leaving a trace of the soul on the puppet, even without deliberate manipulation, it could perform tasks according to the owner's will. Thus, time could be utilized to the utmost. Skill. Heavenly calculation of 10,000 soldiers, first level. Progress. 278 to 500. Not only in puppetry technique but also in all other skills, Chan Sansi did not fall behind. Skill. Beast taming, entry level. Progress. 239 to 500. All three of his spiritual pets had reached the late stage of the spirit aperture realm, with Chen soon on the verge of breaking through to the mysterious body realm. The cultivation speed of spiritual beasts could also be enhanced through resources, further affirming the importance of collecting heavenly materials and earthly treasures. Skill, Alchemy, second tier. Progress, 466/1000. Skill, Formation, first rank. Progress, 471/500. Skill, Talisman Painting, first rank. Progress, 489 to 500. The skill of talisman painting was closest to a breakthrough, so Chun Sansi dedicated over 10 days to improve his proficiency. Talismans can be understood as spells stored in talisman paper, requiring no gestures or incantations, no learning, and even no consumption, allowing them to be unleashed directly. Thus, they are also the cultivator's favorite means to use. However, while using talismans consumes nothing, painting them is not an easy task. Every half-inch of ink Chen Sansi splashed on the talisman paper rapidly consumed his mana and divine sense at an astonishing rate. Ordinarily, a Qi Refinement Realm Talisman Master could create at most 2 or 3 talismans a day, whereas more could harm their divine sense. Foundation Establishment, however, doubles this, allowing 4 or 5 talismans. Moreover, each painting often requires 2 days of rest to protect the divine soul and divine sense. The higher the rank of the talisman, the greater the consumption for the talisman master, hence the high market price of talismans. If one were to mindlessly doodle with a pen all day, producing thousands of talismans, they would have flooded the market and lost value. Due to practicing multiple skills and the heavenly calculation of 10,000 soldiers, honing his divine sense, Chun Sansi was stronger than ordinary people, capable of painting 7 or 8 talismans in one go. He gritted his teeth against the pain from divine sense depletion, sketching the final talisman of the day, gradually achieving resonance with the heaven and earth laws. As if Chun Sansi's talisman pen was a divine artifact meant for manipulating the heaven and earth laws, with him being the creator controlling these laws. In this state, not only did he become more skillful, but even the consumption during talisman painting drastically reduced. Skill, Talisman Painting, second tier. Progress, 0/1000. Utility, Skillful. Talisman painting skill is becoming more proficient, producing a faint resonance with the heaven and earth laws, reducing the consumption for painting talismans, and increasing speed. Skillful. With this entry, drawing talismans becomes much more efficient, saving a lot of divine sense. Chun Sansi used to be able to draw 7 or 8 talismans a day. Now, when attempting again, he can draw at least 15, but unfortunately, he doesn't have any excellent talisman diagrams in hand. Great Strength Talisman, Divine Speed Talisman, Clone Talisman, Wind Avoidance Talisman. These 4 talismans are somewhat mediocre. He doesn't have practical talismans like Mo Zhu's Earth Tunneling Talisman or the Seized Ice Freeze Talisman. And as for Array Formation Technique, he is about to break through to second tier, but likewise, he has no subsequent inheritance or diagrams of several formation arrays. If only I could take down Days Fong City, Chun Sansi calculated in his mind. Then there would be no shortage of anything. Beiyang area's several workshops have grown vast over the years, each one exceedingly wealthy. If these places were searched and seized, not to mention himself, even the resources obtained would suffice for the entire court for over a decade. Golden Core. Unfortunately, there is still the nuisance of Shengyun Sec's Shuzhongzi. Otherwise, Chun Sansi would only need to enhance martial arts to true power late stage and immortal path to mid-stage foundation establishment. His own power would suffice to walk across Beiyang with ease. If he could also control the transmission array combined with the heavenly book array, he could launch a surprise attack and directly take down the workshops. However, Chun Sansi felt there certainly wouldn't be just him thinking Shuzhongzi was a nuisance. The Demon Suppression Department, the Li family, and even Ronghua City are the same. If it wasn't for a golden core stirring the pot, who knows if Dusk Valley might have already been wiped out. Avoiding such hassle? Moreover, considering the ties between Ronghua City and the Seven Kill sect, secretly spreading demon techniques and expanding sect disciples, it seems there might be major movements in the recent years. They too probably have their eyes on the Bai family treasures. Among the forces of the Demon Suppression Department and the Li family, there are no cultivators of the Golden Core realm, but this doesn't mean the Seven Kill sect doesn't have them. This might be a turning point. As for the specifics, one can only wait and see. After clearing his thoughts, Chun Sansi exhaled a long breath of turbid air, got up to leave the cave mansion, and prepared to return to the court first. Half a year had passed in the blink of an eye. Even with puppets around, it was time to personally handle some affairs and take some time to be with family. Now, it's the 12th of the first month in the 11th year of Tianwu, with the new year having just passed. Chun Due is already 15 years old, the age to officially start cultivating, and who knows if his temperament has changed over the past 2 years. Chen Yunxi, even more so at the 28 age by their customs, can already start considering marriage. Su Yunhuan has also reached maturity and has been cultivating for 2 years. The empress and the imperial concubine can only engage in needlework within the harem all day long. Chun Sansi as an emperor just passes the grade, able to ensure prosperity in the common folks' homes each year, but as a husband and father, he is somewhat negligent. He left Sima Yao in the Sky-Water continent to monitor the situation of the 9 Nether Forbidden Ground, while he himself took the time to return to the eastern continent through the ancient transmission array. Great Han, Ning Yuan County, Qingping Village. Snowflakes were swirling, covering the land for 100 miles around in white. The people, wrapped in cotton clothes, hurried past, and in every household, there was the faint glow of charcoal fires. A sleek rat scuttled across the snow along the wall until it was far from human activity and buried itself in the wilderness. It stood up, gazing at the vast snowy plains in the distance until a snow eagle swooped down and scooped it into the sky, far from the desolate mountains and wild lands. On a crooked tree, a young boy lay against the trunk, with a twig in his mouth, indifferent to the cold, watching the snow-filled sky. Clip-clop, clip-clop. The sound of chaotic horse hooves breaking the silence echoed from afar until several Jianghu knights rode into view, stopping at a fork in the road. With mountains blocked by snow, it was hard to discern direction. Hold on! The leading one-eyed dragon raised his arm to signal his brothers to stop, then reined in his horse in front of the tree and asked the boy above, "Young brother, which way to Qingping village? Find it yourself." The boy yawned, not bothering to respond. The one-eyed dragon was stunned for a moment, then dug out a piece of fragmented silver from his pocket and tossed it up the tree, saying, "Young brother, do us a favor, we're looking for someone." However, the boy in coarse linen clothes didn't even glance at the silver, letting it hit him and fall into the snow, treating the group as if they were air. "Kid, I'm talking to you. Did you hear me?" Someone couldn't hold back, frowning and threatening. "Lead the way to Qingping village." Hiss! The boy found the noise unbearable, gracefully jumping from the trunk to escape the uninvited guests, until a cold glint flashed, a chill landing on his neck. "Lead the way." The one-eyed dragon's face was grim. The boy glanced at the Yenling's saber at his neck with little reaction, merely removing the twig from his mouth and lightly raising his chin. "Over there, take this path. No tricks." The one-eyed dragon yanked him onto the horse's back. Meanwhile, more hoofbeats sounded, as a dozen more people approached from various directions, even bringing many horse-drawn carts. These weren't knights on a quest. They looked more like bandits drifting around. In former dynasties, it was common for bandits to descend from the mountains and loot villages during autumn and winter. After the founding of the Great Han, there were successive anti-bandit campaigns in various places, making such occurrences rare, though they occasionally happened. "I say, one-eyed dragon," the young man, while nonchalantly leading the way, persuaded. "I toil all year. Planting some grains is not easy. Now it's freezing cold. If you rob us, how will we survive?" "Cut the chatter," the one-eyed dragon said in a deep voice. "Lead the way honestly, and I'll spare your life later. Or maybe let's just forget it?" The young man looked at the fork in the road ahead and calmly said, If you surrender to the government now, by autumn you'll still be well-fed and clothed, without having to roam tirelessly every day. One-Eyed Dragon sneered, "Kid, what nonsense are you talking about? I'll cut out your tongu." Roar. A beast's roar that shook the heart suddenly resounded, as from the woods on the left, a fearsome beast, snow-white and tiger-like with golden horns on its forehead, shrouded in spirit light, launched its attack. Golden Beast. One-Eyed Dragon was taken aback and hurriedly dismounted from his horse. The sharp claws of the white-furred golden beast tore the warhorse into pieces in an instant, as if its claws were blades. Where did this demon beast come from? One-Eyed Dragon got up with the support of his sword. "Kill them all," Chun Due signaled with a wave of his hand. Roar. The golden beast roared and charged into the crowd. What is this? Chun Due intended to find a place to sit and watch leisurely, but the scene unfolding before him dispelled his lazy demeanor completely. He saw that several leaders of these mountain bandits, in their struggle against the golden beast, had purple energy rising from their bodies, unleashing extraordinary power. Incense Fire Divine Tao? 2 years ago, Chun Due had noticed this magic skill while casually flipping through books in the book collection pavilion, never imagining he'd encounter it here. The golden beast, a spiritual beast at the late stage of the spirit aperture realm, easily handled these second-rate incense fire divine Tao cultivators. In less than half a cup of tea's time, it slaughtered the bandits until only a few remnants remained. Just as it was about to annihilate them completely, a more powerful aura erupted from the southeast direction. Raising spiritual beasts? Kid, you're the offspring of Chun the Hunter, aren't you? A black-robed cultivator appeared atop the treetop, overlooking the young man on the ground with a sinister smile. I initially only intended to sacrifice a few commoners to help me break through my cultivation. I didn't expect to run into the thief Chen's offspring. It's a blessing without effort. Today, I'll use your blood to honor the spirit of the late emperor in heaven. Chun the Hunter? Are you talking about my father? Chun Due, realizing, quickly said, "Are you out of your mind? If you have a grudge against him, go kill him. What does that have to do with me?" Prepare to die. The black-robed cultivator, without listening, activated the incense fire divine power. His hands were wrapped in purple energy, turning into ferocious devil claws descending from the sky. Golden Horn, Chun Due shouted. The golden beast immediately returned. Its golden horn on the forehead burst with spiritual power, and it collided head-on with the devil claws, stirring up waves of snow. The golden beast was at the late spirit aperture realm, while the black-robed cultivator was at the first realm of incense fire divine Tao, late summoning stage. One person and one beast were evenly matched, unable to determine the victor. You beast! The black-robed cultivator, at his wit's end, could only command his subordinates. You lot, go sacrifice the people in the village up ahead first. Yes. The few surviving members of the incense fire divine sect rushed forward. Chun Due had no way to retreat. He grabbed a sword at random to confront them. But he hadn't formally trained in martial arts to temper his chi and blood, and was no match for these people. In just 2 or 3 exchanges, he was kicked in the chest. Kid, quickly, which way to the village? The cultist snarled. Speak up. The village ahead was populated, but its geographical location was concealed. In the icy landscape, without guidance, it would take several days to find it. Clearly, they didn't have that time. How would I know? I'm not from the village. Chun Due sat on the ground, wiping blood from the corner of his mouth. Unless you let me go, I'll go find out for you. Bang! The cultist pressed one of his arms into the snow nest. If you won't talk, I'll chop off one of your hands first. Brother Day. In the dried woods dozens of steps away, a few youths of similar age appeared at some point, watching the bloody scene before them with terror on their faces. Quickly, run. Bandits are coming. Chun Due nearly cursed. The situation was already critical, and now these village kids running around only added chaos. Brother Day. After a moment of panic, the youngsters fearlessly picked up sticks and stones, trying to save others. The followers of the incense fire divine sect raised their knives, ready to kill. "Stop!" Chan Due shouted hastily. "I'll take you into the village." "Ha! You should have done this from the start." The followers ordered their men to tightly restrain all the youngsters. "I say." While being pushed forward, Chun Due said, "Our village doesn't have much food or people. What's the point? Let me recommend a place to you. Plenty of people, more food, countless treasures. A single raid could set you for life. How about it?" "Oh," the follower asked, "where is this place?" The youngster replied, "Sky Wall City." "Damn it, you're still playing tricks. Do you take me for a fool?" The follower erupted in anger. But at that moment, he showed a flaw, and Chun Due suddenly flipped, thrusting several silver needles into his neck. The venom from the spiritual beast entered his body, deadly upon contact, and the follower convulsed a few times in the snow before dying. "You little brat, you're as devious as your father." On the other side, a black-robed cultivator injured the golden beast, gliding over the snow without a trace, aiming for the youngster's life. Whoosh! In the blink of an eye, an arrow shot through the air, disrupting the black-robed cultivator's attack, making him gaze with a frown. From all directions, genie guards swarmed in. Pei Tianan? Leading them were the commander Zhao Kong and Dragon Lake General Wang Li, the latter having already advanced to the martial saint realm. Recognizing the black-robed cultivator before them, they were slightly surprised. "Heh!" Pei Tianan squinted his eyes, glaring viciously at the two. "When I was an inspector, you two were mere 100 captains, and now you're both wearing such uniforms. It truly is one climbs the ranks, and all benefit. Remnants of the previous dynasty. Face your end." Wang Li drew his blade against him. Sky Arrow flew wildly, rallying the local troops. Besieged, Pei Tianan dared not linger, sneered coldly, and vanished into the air within a few breaths. "Greetings, Prince Yu." Zhao Kong, Wang Li, and the genie guards all bowed in unison. "We arrived late to rescue. Please forgive us, Your Highness." "Prince Yu." The village children looked on in astonishment. "Hiss, I'm all right, really?" Chan Due coughed through severe pain. "What's up with these people?" "It's the incense fire divine sect," Wang Li reported. After the fall of the previous dynasty, Pei Tianan, a fugitive, joined the incense fire divine sect. For the past few years, they've been quite active. The genie guard has been searching for them all over, but who would expect them to dare come near the capital city? It's our failure. The new dynasty established for 10 years was indeed stable, but some remnants from the previous dynasty still existed. Incense fire divine Tao. Chun Due picked up a parchment scroll from where Pei Tianan had been, glanced at it, and tucked it into his chest. Then he looked at the people before him. "Why have you come here?" "Responding to Your Highness." Zhao Kong answered truthfully. "The Majesty has returned." The Majesty decreed that starting today, Your Highness need not stay in the wilderness and can return to the capital city to reside. The old man finally decided to teach me. Despite his injuries, Chun Due was helped onto a flight carriage crafted by Shu Lake. "What are you waiting for? Let's go." "Yes." Under the coachman's whip, Shu Lake spread its wings in flight, carrying the carriage up to Cloud Peak. Great Han. Chang'an Skywall City. Boundless Hall. Sun Li's slender, fair hands gripped the red lotus blade, focusing her spirit on cultivating the saber technique. Up to now, she remained at the great perfection of the profound image realm, unable to break through to the martial saint realm. This saber technique is as chaotic as a lotus and as fierce as fire, but in fact, one must find tranquility within chaos, seek stability amidst fierceness, and follow the same principle when breathing. Come. Chun Sansi stood behind the imperial concubine, guiding her hand in hand, detailing every move, every breath, leaving nothing unattended. This was the guidance from the foremost martial artist of the Eastern continent. Even his disciples did not receive such treatment. Unfortunately, the siblings, Sun Li and Sun Buki, were vastly different. The former was diligent but lacked talent in her youth, while the latter had enough talent but was quite lazy. By now, Sun Buki had already become a martial saint, yet Sun Li still lingered in the profound image realm, struggling without a breakthrough, prompting some concern. Senior sister, Chan Sansi whispered, I've prepared the heavenly materials and earthly treasures. Once you ascend to the martial saint, you can start attempting to unlock the 24 divine scenes. Sun Li performed a dazzling saber arc, sheathing the red lotus blade, but her expression was slightly gloomy, forcing a faint smile. You know, my ambition does not lie in cultivation. How can that be? Chan Sansi immediately retorted. Mortal lifespan is limited. Senior sister without a spirit root must seize the hope of martial arts. Strive to break through to true power as soon as possible. It's the only long-term plan. Sun Li did not respond. She simply bowed slightly. I obey, Your Majesty. Eh? Before Chun Sansi could understand, he saw Sun Li had already left. He could only go to the back chambers of Boundless Hall, finding the Empress who was doing embroidery, hoping she could help supervise Sun Li in his absence. Your Majesty shouldn't rush Li. She knows what's in her heart. Gu Xinlan set down her needlework, speaking gently. Instead, during the days you're not here, Li feels quite lonely. Even though she often takes Yunxi and Yunhuan, sometimes it just gets... Does Your Majesty understand what I mean? Chun Sansi said thoughtfully. It's my oversight. I've neglected senior sister over the years. Exactly. Gu Xinlan continued. Those ministers of the court are always submitting petitions, saying we should cultivate more heirs to strengthen the imperial family. Sister Lan. Chan Sansi suddenly thought, would you like to try cultivating the incense fire divine Tao? Breaking through to the second realm in the incense fire divine Tao can also extend your life. I'd better not. Gu Xinlan shook her head gently. I really don't understand cultivation. I'm afraid I won't grasp the strange terms involved. All right. Chen Sansi didn't say more, because as he understood, anyone cultivating the incense fire divine Tao required devotion. Reaching a certain level would make them a divine envoy, entirely belonging to the religion, losing their self. This was true for both the righteous path and the evil god path. That night, Chun Sansi returned to Yonghe Palace in Qinghua Palace of the Harem. This was Sun Li's palace, and he planned to stay there for a while, taking advantage of the free time to try and increase the number of heirs. Early next morning, Chun Sansi donned his dragon robe, heading to the Taiji Palace of the Great Ming Palace for morning court. Greetings to Your Majesty. Long live the Emperor. Long live forever. Present your matters, or retreat if there are none. Without detailing every affair, the summary was that the empire was thriving, the treasury full, resources ample, commanding an army of 2.8 million, with over 400,000 elite troops. Your Majesty, may I report? Su Wenkai stepped forward. The matter of Nanshu relinquishing the imperial throne and pledging allegiance to our great Han has been properly handled, and it is expected that Fan Shuzhen will officially leave the city to surrender the imperial seal in 10 days. Qichang is currently near the capital city of Nanshu. However, over in Dongqing, they initially presented a good attitude, but upon execution changed their stance, even setting an ambush that cost us over 1,000 soldiers and horses. Dongqing. Chun Sansi tapped his fingers lightly on the dragon chair, recalling the information in his mind. If I'm not mistaken, the current emperor of Dongqing is a young one, only 18 or 19? Precisely. Su Wenkai said, several years ago, Dongqing's previous emperor, Emperor Sui Yuan, voluntarily sought to become a vassal. However, the current young emperor seized the throne with support from the imperial family. Though young, he possesses some shrewdness. Set a deadline for them. Chun Sansi said solemnly. If by then they are still unwilling to submit, I will personally visit. I will arrange it at once. Su Wenkai added. Regarding Nanshu's upcoming surrender ceremony, does Your Majesty wish to attend in person? After the ceremony, we need to proceed according to the original plan. gradually deploying troops to Nanshu's southern realm. I will personally arrange it. Chun Sansi gazed at a giant map of the eastern continent hanging on the side of the Great Hall, realizing that preparations for certain deployments could now begin. He added, "For the pacification of Nanshu, many of you deserve credit, and I will reward and punish accordingly." Dismissed. With the loud voice of the eunuchs announcing, the morning court session ended. After handling some miscellaneous affairs, Chun Sansi seated himself on the familiar dragon chariot, leaving Chang'an and heading directly south, arriving at Nanshu in a few days. Wulong disciple Qi Chang, after wrapping up matters at Luoxia Mountain, immediately returned to the Divine Continent to handle the surrender of Nanshu. Under his welcome, Emperor Tianwu led thousands of cavalry to the gates of the capital city. Rumble. The city gates opened. Nanshu Hongxi Emperor Fan Shuzhen exchanged the dragon robe for a python robe, carrying the emperor's crown and Nanshu national seal, leading civil and military officials out of the city to kneel in welcome. Greetings to Emperor Tianwu. Fan Shuzhen's expression was somewhat disheartened, with traces of blood still visible in his pupils. One could hear the unwillingness and helplessness in his voice. Servant Fan Shuzhen, willing to be a loyal servant of the Great Han for all eternity. Rise. Chun Sansi personally helped him up. I will keep you in the Chu capital city, to properly serve as the king of Nansu. Your servant thanks your majesty for your divine grace. In middle age, Fan Shuzhen kowtowed deeply. When he raised his head again, he seemed to have aged 20 years in an instant, and looking at the Emperor Tianwu, it felt as if a lifetime had passed. Recalling the past, when they confronted each other at Hilagwan, he was an esteemed prince, while the other was merely a main general. After more than 10 years, their statuses had undergone such a dramatic reversal. Chun Sansi invited him onto the dragon chariot, riding together straight into the capital. The army followed closely behind, marching in triumph, and from then on there would be no more Nansu, with the Great Han territory expanding from 1 capital and 36 states to 1 capital and 62 states. In Chu capital city, he ordered the Ministry of War officials to bring the map. Deploy the Bailiang Army's Hengze camp to garrison in Longhua Prefecture, the Heavenly Strategy camp to garrison in Shenyang Prefecture, the Xuanwu camp to garrison in Luan Prefecture, and the White Tiger camp to garrison in Zitong Prefecture. Among the mortals, there were many spies from the Sky Water sect, and every move was under enemy surveillance. Such a large-scale troop maneuver naturally could not be an exception. Therefore, this deployment was partly real, partly fake, appearing on the surface to purely solidify control over the core territories of Nansu. But in reality, 2,000 soldiers were positioned close to Nanling town, ready to move at the fastest speed when orders were given. 2,000 soldiers, a small number. This was because traveling from Nanling town to the ends of the earth required passing through the vast sea of mist, and Chun Sansi had yet to acquire enough specially made warships. In the coming years, he still needed to find ways to purchase more. This was also a huge obstacle in advancing to the heavenly water. All warships capable of passing through the Sea of Mist were graded magic artifact vehicles, expensive and difficult to acquire in large quantities. The best solution was still to have someone custom build them. Zinan. Chun Sansi thought of one of his neighbors from Little Bamboo Peak, an individual proficient in artifact refining, who surely had no problem crafting warships. Next time he returned, he would try to get in touch. In any case, he would mobilize as many as possible. As long as he could effectively employ the Heavenly Book Array, it would be barely adequate. After all, there weren't many cultivators in Daisfang City. Central Army of the Hengze Camp. Wang Li, Lu Jinkue, Xiong Chuan, Zhuang Yi, and other brothers from Piyang gathered here, ready to move out at any moment. Having completed all these arrangements, Chun Sansi began to reward those who had contributed to the founding of the Great Han over the past 10 years. Qi Cheng, having honed himself for over a decade, had reached the age of 30 and had become more mature and astute in all aspects. Diligent and tireless, he was responsible for the diversion tactics in the Battle of Luoxia Mountain, and personally handled the surrender of Nansu and Dongqing. Adding up all these achievements, he was conferred the title of Duke Anding. Dongfang Jingxing, meticulous in his work, decisively executed actions in the first battle, was promoted to Chamberlain of Ritual Supervision, ranking second only to the head of Ritual Supervision. Zhou Weijin, with extraordinary talent, fought fiercely at the front, was conferred the rank of second-rank General of Cavalry, serving as an assistant general in the Heavenly Assault Army's Central Army. The others who fought bravely in the Battle of Luoxia Mountain were also rewarded. When Chen Sansi had handled all matters, more than a month had passed, and according to the original timeline, the Nine Nether restricted area was about to open. But the update from Shunzi coming from Heavenly Water reported that the restricted area had not opened yet, only sporadic disturbances increasingly growing in magnitude. Since the restricted area had not opened, Chen Sansi was not in a rush to return. Instead, he focused on honing various skills while making time for his children and apprentices. In the practice ground of Boundless Hall, Su Kan, Yu Ji, and Yu Lai were each cultivating on the flanks. Chun Duwei, meanwhile, leaned against a stone pillar, yawning incessantly. Stand up straight. Wearing a white robe, Chun Sansi had his hands behind his back and reprimanded. You spend the whole day standing improperly, sitting improperly. How can you train in martial arts? Only then did Chun Duwei stand properly. Have you made up your mind? Chun Sansi asked. What weapon do you plan to train with? Beside them on Lan Chi, the 18 types of weapons were laid out, including knives, spears, swords, halberds, axes, hooks, and forks, all available. The spear, Chun Duwei naturally said, walking over to Lan Chi, reaching out to grab a reed leaf gun. But upon seeing the weapons nearby, he suddenly changed his mind. This one, he said as he lifted the weapon he favored. This weapon also belonged to the long spear category, but at the edge of the gun blade, there was an additional sharp blade that formed the shape of a scythe. Hook scythe spear. Chun Sansi nodded. Compared to ordinary spears, it's easier to learn but harder to master. Are you sure? Chun Duwei acquiesced. I happen to have a set of hook scythe spear techniques, passed down to me by your grandmaster. I'll teach it to you now. Once you reach a certain level in your training, I can customize the cultivation technique for you, crafting it to fit you. Chun Sansi began patiently instructing, don't underestimate the transcendent realm. Training blood, training bone, and even refining internal, these early realms may seem inferior in combat compared to the chi refining first level of magic cultivation, but they are crucial foundations. No matter how far you go later, your understanding of martial arts stems from the Transcendence period. Perfection of transcendence in the martial saint realm is the ultimate in martial art. So you must take it seriously. Don't slack off. Otherwise, tiny errors can lead to significant deviations, affecting your future limits. Chun Duwei listened without comment and awkwardly practiced pile work and spear technique, but soon began to make progress within half a day. The eldest son practiced martial arts, and both daughters engaged in magic cultivation. Chun Yunqi was following Zhao Zhao to practice swordsmanship, now about to step into the chi refining fourth layer. Here, these elixir pills are prepared by me for you. Chun Sansi tossed over a porcelain bottle. Thank you, father. Chun Yunqi bowed gracefully and softly said, Father, where is Sister Qian Sun? Recently, some spiritual beasts at Langfeng Peak have been disobedient. I'd like to ask Sister Qian Sun to help discipline them. Sister Qian Sun? Since when did she become your sister? Chun Sansi released her from the storage bag. Cloud, she has been entrusted with a tough job of looking after the mount recently. Father, you're joking. Chun Yunqi quickly replied, I'm glad to help lighten father's burden. Not just me. Yun Huan is also trying every possible way to contribute to Sky Wall City. Where is she? Chun Sansi said. Take me to see your sister. Okay. Chan Yunqi somewhat clumsily summoned the flying sword, and when she stepped on it, her small face showed fear. After wobbling several times, she steadied herself and flew towards Langfeng Peak. Langfeng Peak is a place specially used for raising spiritual beasts. Now, combined with Lu Shu and others, there were nearly 1,000, and from above, one could see the spiritual beasts constantly galloping in groups, creating a magnificent spectacle. With 1,000, the number would soon double again. With Chun Yunshi and Chen Sun involved, even if most were mortal Bailiang army, they could still manage them. In the past 2 years, whenever Chen Sansi had the chance, he would also buy some other spiritual beast cubs and bring them back to raise, but their growth speed was relatively slower. Su Yunhuan plowed a medicine garden beside the spiritual beast park, concentrating her efforts, with tiny green spirit lights emerging from the Dharma seal in front of her, scattering like moonlight on the soil. Chun Sansi landed softly without immediately interrupting. "Ah, father has arrived." After a while, Su Yunhuan noticed someone approaching, recognized him and joyously greeted, "Greetings, father. No need for formalities." Chun Sansi also tossed a bottle of the most suitable elixir pills based on her constitution. His adopted daughter usually enjoyed tending to plants and flowers, practicing with attribute techniques, intending to help the court cultivate rare spirit plants. He had brought many precious spirit plants from auctions, but unfortunately, the court didn't have spirit fields for cultivation. Recently, Chun Sansi had been reviewing ancient texts and found several heavenly materials and earthly treasures capable of altering land, but they were not commonly seen. "Yunshi, Yunhuan, father understands your good intentions, but you both need not rush to do things. Focus on cultivation, and opportunities will come. Today, your mother is cooking. She's made some dishes. Come join me for a family banquet." Just as he was about to lead them away, a figure appeared flying with artifact manipulation in the distant sky. Zhang Shun landed hurriedly, clasping his fists. "Your Majesty, there's a situation at the 9 Nether Forbidden Area. Go ahead and speak your mind." Chun Sansi indicated for the other party to speak freely. "The 9 Nether Forbidden Zone of Qiushuang Valley has opened." Zhang Shun paused, then added, "However, there is a powerful spiritual power disorder at the entrance to the secret realm. Anyone who approaches will be torn to pieces immediately. No one dares to enter for now, and loose cultivators and family clans are all observing the situation." It said this has never happened before. Spiritual power disorder? Chun Sansi nodded. "I understand. Keep watching it. Once I finish dealing with court affairs, I will return to heavenly water immediately." "I obey, my lord." Zhang Shun hurriedly came and went. "Father, are you leaving again?" Chen Yunshi asked. "I will stay a few more days." Chun Sansi did not deny it. "Come on, let's go to the family feast." The family feast today not only included the empress, the noble consort, and their children, but also a few senior brothers who were in the eastern continent. In the past decade, they had seldom gathered, making this meal a rare opportunity. Looking around, the senior brothers seemed much older, but their martial arts talent was enough, only lacking in resources. He would have to find a way to get more heavenly materials and earthly treasures for opening Scenic God's ambition. After several rounds of drinks, the senior brothers brought up their greatest lifelong desire, to avenge the fourth brother Fang Qingyun and destroy the entire Guiyuan sect. Golden core. Chun Sansi estimated in his heart that Huang Laojiu was not only a golden core but in the late stage of golden core, not far from nascent soul. At the current pace, how many years would it take for him to reach that level? 50 years, 100 years? There is an old saying in the mortal world, "A gentleman's revenge is never too late even after 10 years." In the cultivation world, it could also be said that 100 years is not too late. This revenge would be executed for sure. With the last pot of wine finished, the family feast came to a close. Chun Sansi continued to reside at Yonghe Palace, and he mentioned about his upcoming departure once again. "Junior brother, could you take my pulse?" Sun Li extended her fair wrist. "Take your pulse." Chun Sansi quickly understood. "You?" "Yes." Sun Li nodded naturally. "I've had some reactions these past 2 days. This time, Chun Sansi had stayed for 2 months, which was indeed about right if they were lucky. His mortal medical skills were top-notch. He immediately took her pulse, feeling the pulse of the imperial concubine. Indeed, it's a pulse of joy, good. Looks like it can silence those ministers. Nian Xia, while I am away, take good care of the noble consort. If there are any mistakes, I will hold everyone in Yonghe Palace accountable. In the Great Han's harem, a female official system was set up with the Etiquette Bureau, Palace Bureau, among other 6 bureaus plus the Palace Supervision Bureau, collectively known as the 6 bureaus and 1 supervision office. A substantial part of them were women with spirit roots, and others were exceptionally talented martial artists. The Palace Supervision Bureau was responsible for the safety of the harem, akin to a female version of the Genie Guard. Nian Xia was the deputy chief of the Palace Supervision Bureau and was about to break through to the qi refining middle stage after 10 years of cultivation. This humble servant obeys. Nian Xia curtsied and congratulated. Congratulations, Your Majesty. Congratulations, Your Majesty. May the heavens bless the Great Han, and may the nation's fortunes prosper. Senior sister, there is something in heavenly water that needs attention. If I can't stay long, please understand. If there's anything urgent, you can contact me through people in the Palace Supervision Bureau. After exchanging a few more courtesies, Chun Sansi left the harem and arrived at the Boundless Hall in Skywall City, once again activating the Puppet Emperor. The puppet, made entirely of wood, wore a black and gold robe, always ready to handle memorials at the desk. With everything arranged, he was about to set off for heavenly water when he saw Si Qin enter the hall. Your Majesty, Miss Ning Xiang and Miss Zhao Zhao request an audience. Them? Chun Sansi thought for a moment. Let them in. Ning Xiang and Zhao Zhao, whom he had not seen for a long time, walked into the hall one after the other. Because they were cultivators, the marks of time were not evident on their faces. Ning Xiang still had a graceful figure, her gestures elegant and charming. Zhao Zhao, who rarely visited the Boundless Hall, kept glancing around with her bright eyes. This humble servant meets Your Majesty. Ning Xiang bowed with Zhao Zhao slightly behind. The two of you. Chun Sansi got straight to the point. Is there something you need? Your Majesty hasn't summoned us for 3 to 5 years, right? Ning Xiang's tone carried a hint of resentment. If we didn't come today, who knows when Your Majesty will return next time? You've both worked hard over these years. Chun Sansi knew that most of the promising talents in Skywall City were selected by them. They also taught the basic energy introduction spell and other skills. It's fair to say they were the Forbidden Army instructors. In the harem, she was also the chief of the female officials. Moreover, both had excellent qualifications. Despite the lack of resources, Ning Xiang had reached the qi refining 9th layer, and Zhao Zhao the qi refining 8th layer, both almost ready to prepare for foundation establishment. He said, if there's any reward you want, just say it, and I will do my best to fulfill your wishes. Your Majesty. Ning Xiang shook her head. We don't wish for anything, but we wanted to say, for this trial, why don't you take us along as well? Staying shut away all the time is no way. After the trial, we wish to stay in heavenly water and seek another place to cultivate with Zhao Zhao. Another place? Chun Sansi did not refuse. Let's wait a little longer. If I can't get foundation establishment pills for both of you, it would mean I'm incompetent. Wherever you choose to go, I will not stop you. You misunderstand, Your Majesty. Ning Xiang quickly explained. We were born as people of the Great Han, and will die as ghosts of the Great Han. We definitely do not intend to ask Your Majesty for resources. It's just that our physiques are special, and staying in the divine continent may hamper our progress. It's better to go elsewhere first, and return when we have achieved something, so we can serve the court even more loyally. No need to explain so much. Chun Sansi said calmly. In the blink of an eye, you have followed me for over 10 years. I will not doubt your loyalty, and even if I don't return in the future, I will not blame you. This servant thanks Your Majesty for your grace. Ning Xiang bowed deeply to the ground. In that case, let's set out together with me. Chun Sansi led the two onto the dragon chariot, and after rushing into the clouds, they headed straight towards the ends of the earth. Emperor Chun. Zhao Zhao asked, what realm are you at now? Foundation Establishment Realm. Chun Sansi replied calmly with his eyes closed, concentrating. Foundation Establishment. Zhao Zhao placed a finger on her lips, pondering and murmuring, "Doesn't that mean I'm about to catch up with you? Will I soon be able to defeat you?" "Zhao Zhao, do not be disrespectful," Ning Xiang chided. "Why are you still so unruly? His Majesty practices immortal and martial dual cultivation and can fight across realms. How could you be the same?" "Silly," Chan Sansi teased. "Why are you so intent on defeating me? I have no grudge against you." "No grudge?" Zhao Zhao widened her eyes, first placing her hands on her hips in disbelief, then raising her right hand to reveal a scar on her slender wrist. "Is this called no grudge? Oh, I forgot." When Chen Sansi first met her, he indeed seemed to have directly severed her tendons. But at that time she was sneaky in nightwear, and surviving was lucky enough. "Just you wait," Zhao Zhao declared confidently. "Once I defeat you, I will leave a scar on your wrist too, to show you how formidable I am." "Heh, all right. I'll be waiting for you." Chun Sansi paid no more attention, continuing to close his eyes and focus. A few days later, the group arrived at the ends of the earth, and through the Jade Token, entered the Sky-Water continent, to a small mortal town in the northwest to meet with his subordinates. "Your Majesty," Sima Yao cupped his fists. "Currently, we have assembled a total of 51 servants from Skywall City in Sky-Water continent. The court's resources were insufficient. After 10 years of accumulation, there were only this many at Qi refining middle stage, unable to increase the numbers further. Give me the list of these people." With the list in hand, Chun Sansi made detailed arrangements, then started reading the detailed records of the 9 Nether Forbidden Land. In the Forbidden Land, there once emerged a large number of rare treasures, some of which couldn't even be measured by rank, including the Earth Spirit Tree Heart and Golden Essence Clay. The former Demon Locust Tree Heart is one of the heavenly materials and earthly treasures, its utility similar to a fake pill refined from a third-rank demon core. After a cultivator cultivates a fake pill, their combat power and lifespan are comparable to a golden core, but can't improve their cultivation. It said some smaller sects, when their inheritance is on the brink of extinction, will do everything possible to create fake pill cultivators to protect their heirs, thus bridging the gap between generations. The Golden Essence Clay also has a similar effect. Ensuring a continuous inheritance speaks to its preciousness, making it a rare treasure even in the Forbidden Land. Other similar heavenly materials and earthly treasures are also recorded. In the records, Chun Sansi found a spiritual plant he urgently needed, the Earth Spirit Purple Vine. This plant, as long as the spiritual energy is abundant, can alter the soil, turning mortal land into spirit fields. For most forces, this should be of little utility, because in the Sky-Water continent, places rich in spiritual energy definitely have exclusive spirit veins, with spirit veins naturally birthing spirit fields, negating the need to alter the soil. However, Skywall City is different. With spiritual pearls, there is no lack of spiritual energy in the city, yet there are no spirit fields. This Earth Spirit Purple Vine is practically tailored for the court. If this treasure can be found, the Jingshan fruit tree seedling Chun Sansi acquired and various other spiritual plant seeds could be utilized. This trip to the Forbidden Land, his objectives could almost be detailed. First, to gather resources for the court. Second, seeking the Phoenix Stone Beast, partly to bribe Chu Lingchuan and partly to refine elixirs for his cultivation speed. Third, to search for the Earth Spirit Purple Vine. Before doing anything, Chun Sansi always liked to have a clear plan and then work towards the set direction to be more motivated. Where is the Forbidden Land? He put away the records. I need to go there personally to take a look. Yes. Sima Yao was responsible for leading the way. Qiushuang Valley is located at the northwestern edge of Beiyang, with no nearby spirit veins, making it a very barren mortal land. Yet the 9 Nether Forbidden Land lies within it. Therefore, whenever the Forbidden Land is about to open, all the loose cultivators and family disciples in the Beiyang Road would gather here, turning nearby mortal villages into bustling places. Such a scenario has lasted nearly a millennium. But due to a millennium of plundering, the resources within the 9 Nether Forbidden Land have increasingly dwindled, from initially having third-tier treasures everywhere to mainly second-tier later and to now, where most are first-tier, and the appearance of a second-tier treasure is enough to make loose cultivators scramble desperately. Thus, the status of cultivators participating in the secret realm treasure hunt has also declined. Initially, disciples and cultivators from other road sects would participate. Until the last time, over 90% were local loose cultivators, and even the 7 great families would only send less favored branches to attend. This time, the anomaly in the Forbidden Land has attracted considerable attention. Chan Sansi, informed by his subordinates, knew that this time, many external loose cultivators came, even some sect disciples, and the local 7 great families began to pay renewed attention. So much so, wherever he went, he could see cultivators here and there, giving a sense of overcrowding. The entrance to the Forbidden Land was near a chaotic rocky area in the valley. 2 broken stone pillars stood in the center, their surfaces occasionally lighting up with purple spirit light, appearing like flickering candles in the wind, with a teleportation gate connecting them, filled with chaotic, violent spiritual power. A sect disciple not far away, with hands forming seals, was casting spells, forcibly urging a spiritual beast to enter it, only for it to instantly become a bloody mist upon touching the teleportation gate. Hiss! Seeing this, the sect disciple gasped, subconsciously stepping back a few paces. Such a mutation in this Beiyang Road's secret realm. Is a supreme treasure about to appear, or is it merely a secret realm collapse? Indeed, if it collapses, we've made this trip in vain. Let's go. Having familiarized himself with the surroundings and situation, Chan Sansi didn't linger, quietly leaving Choshuang Valley, though his expression became particularly grim, because those sect disciples in green robes are from Guiyuan's sect. The leading cultivator was a familiar face, Cui Zhichen from Seeking Immortal Tower, one of the disciples of Guiyuan's sect's sect leader, Qian Qiren. Chan Sansi stepped onto his flying sword. His icy voice almost freezing the clouds, spoke word by word. Investigate how many from Guiyuan's sect came this time and who they are. I've noted it down. Sima Yao dared not say more, overlooking the increasingly small figures below. Since they came, none shall leave. This year, more offerings are needed at the headstone of my senior brother's grave. Thinking thus, his flight speed constantly increased, leaving Sima Yao, flying with a talisman, far behind, until a panel suddenly appeared in front of him. Skill: Controlling the Sky Mastery. Progress: 0/1000. Utility: Wind-Splitting Seal. Wind-Splitting Seal. After controlling the sky for 10 years, slowly gaining insight, forming a seal with spells, consuming mana, can triple speed in sky flight. Wind-Splitting Seal. Chan Sansi attempted to test it, found that not only in sword control, even when riding a mount, the seal could be applied to the mount. Controlling space technique not only can be used for long-distance travel, but also serves as a critical security measure to maneuver effortlessly in adverse situations. With the wind-splitting seal, combined with Qian Sun, even if Chan Sansi encounters a late-stage Foundation establishment cultivator, he wouldn't be unable to escape even if he loses in a magical duel. The only flaw is that each speed increase consumes a considerable amount of mana, making it more suitable for use with a mount. He continually performed hand seals, rapidly increasing his speed until he turned into a long rainbow, disappearing into the horizon. Dusk Valley. After several months absent, Chan Sansi smoothly returned to the valley. Considering the days, he owed a considerable amount of elixir pills, so he didn't delay and went straight to the alchemy workshop. Buzz! The stone gate slowly retreated to both sides, just in time to see the alchemy furnace billowing with thick black smoke. By Chaotong being covered in dust and coughing while covering her mouth and nose, evidently having just experienced a failed alchemy attempt. After years of research, she is now a mid-grade first-rank alchemist, but still far from the second tier. Chan Sansi lifted his sword finger, pushed open the pill furnace, and after taking a glance inside, he roughly understood the process. Clear spirit pill requires 7 parts heat first, then 10 parts heat with 10 parts mana when adding the 5th main ingredient. You're clearly off due to insufficient heat. Are you teaching me? Bai Chaotong was somewhat incredulous. She studied alchemy precisely to replace outsiders in the future. Why can't I teach you? Chun Sansi sat down on a meditation mat. Clean up? Who was assisting you in this alchemy? Was it you or your father? My father. Bai Chaotong quickly cleaned up the pill room. I'll go summon my father. Soon. Bai Liangbi, the Bai family master, hurried over with a box full of medicinal materials and handed over a list at the same time. Chun Sansi glanced over. So many fierce dragon nourishing evil elixirs? Yes. Bai Liangbi nodded. Taoist, just focus on refining them. Chun Sansi noticed that the evil qi within the other had undergone subtle changes through this nurturing period. The previously highly corrosive evil qi had somehow merged with the spiritual power on the other, seamlessly integrating with each other. Could it be that the Bai family had some technique for nurturing evil qi? He didn't ask further, preparing to cover his eyes to start refining the pills. Mr. Xiao, there's no need to do that from now on. Bai Liangbi paused and explained, from now on, excluding the most core pill recipe of the Bai family, all other recipes can be disclosed to you. Given the current situation, we rely on each other with Mr. Xiao. There shouldn't be unnecessary defenses to cause distrust. The Bai family master speaks true. I will certainly assist with all my strength, and the obtained pill recipes will absolutely not be leaked. After exchanging a few pleasantries, Chun Sansi began formally refining pills. No longer needing to conceal, he unleashed his full capacity, greatly improving the success rate of pill refining. What would normally take half a month, he completed in 12 days. Skill: Alchemy, second tier. Progress: 501/1000. Extinguishing the flames, Chun Sansi turned his attention away from the pill furnace, leaving some of the elixir pills for his use and handing the rest to the Bai family. Hee. After storing the elixir pills, Bai Liangbi asked, what have you considered regarding the matter we discussed last time? Taoist? Is the family head by referring to leaving Beiyang Dao with the Bai family? Chun Sansi replied, to be honest, I have unresolved grievances with Daisfang City and fear I can't leave this place. Why insist? Bai Liangbi advised, the Li family is powerful, and in recent years, they have golden core cultivators sitting in command, not something we can easily shake. Moreover, once the seal on Eastern Continent is lifted in a few years, more upper sect experts will surely come to eradicate the mortal Han court. In my view, Mr. Xiao has no need to forcibly stay in Beiyang Dao. Your qualifications are top-notch, and with enough resources, you are bound to achieve the golden core realm, making it easy to seek vengeance at Li Family Square Market later. Isn't that so? Chun Sansi merely shook his head without saying much more. All right. Bai Liangbi seemed a bit disappointed. Qingshu Sect's Master Yu Ling has sent a reply, and they will probably dispatch someone to Beiyang Dao within the next few days. Perhaps we might soon leave this trouble-laden place. I hope Mr. Xiao will reconsider. With those words, he finally stepped out of the pill room. The Qingshu sect is coming. Chun Sansi muttered to himself. And it's someone sent by Master Yu Ling. If their attitude is favorable, it might indicate the possibility of seeking assistance. For 4 consecutive months, he remained mostly secluded in Dusk Valley, dedicating the majority of his time to cultivation. Under the Spirit Gathering Array, the concentration of spiritual energy in the cave mansion reached the 2nd tier. While continuously brandishing his long spear, Chun Sansi also inhaled spiritual energy to temper his body. If someone stood behind him, they could see a dragon-like figure's spine radiating a moonlight-like spirit light. The entire spine was distinctly visible, resembling glowing white jade. Cultivation technique: Dragon Scripture, True Power Middle Stage. Progress: 375/500. Lu Shun, named Yi Lifu, styled Daozhu, measuring 3 inches and 5 points, clothed in simple white jade robes. The lower section of 8 scenic gods. 6 have been unlocked. Only the last 2 scenic gods remain to break through the late stage of true power. Cultivation technique: Swallowing Fire technique. Early foundation establishment. Progress. 65 to 500. The immortal path is also steadily progressing, and based on the current cultivation speed of a heavenly grade spiritual root, it should be possible to break through to the mid-stage foundation establishment within 5 years. Upon ending seclusion, Chun Sansi pushed the door open and summoned his subordinates to summarize recent events. First, there was a letter from the demon-slaying sect. Shangguan Siheng claimed that the demon technique of the 7-kill sect still continues to spread, and they encountered an ambush when attempting to intervene. Recently, they've been under surveillance, planning to first escape from Beiyang Dao to avoid the heat before returning when the situation calms down. Your Majesty, Sima Yao reported, the situation with the Guiyuan sect has been clarified. This time they came to the secret realm for treasure hunting. They organized it themselves with a total of 12 people, including 4 at the foundation establishment early stage and 3 at the mid-stage. The leader Su Baoran is said to be extremely skilled in combat techniques. Among the 7 foundation establishment cultivators, there is also someone at the mid-stage foundation establishment. Chun Sansi estimated that if he went all out, dealing with 2 people at the same stage wouldn't be a problem, and any below his stage would be dead no matter how many came. But if there were more than 2, given his dual cultivation in immortal and martial arts, he wouldn't be in danger, but it would be difficult to keep them all and many might escape. Moreover, the people from Skywall City so far at most are at the true power early stage, unable to pose a lethal threat to foundation establishment cultivators or above. Therefore, Chun Sansi needed a helper. At this critical moment, offending the Guiyuan sect inexplicably might make the Bai family unwilling to help. So whom could he still seek? He thought over and selected a candidate in his mind. Deng Wuchang. This guy was originally a sword catcher. If the price was high enough and he could ensure he wouldn't be targeted by the Guiyuan sect, he might persuade him to help. If he remembered correctly, a few years ago, this guy had already reached the true power late stage, which was equivalent to the mid-stage foundation establishment. With this decision in mind, Chun Sansi immediately took action, repeating his last meeting place with Chu Lingchuan in the workshop, to arrange a meeting with Deng Wuchang and Zenon. Xiao Feng. Deng Wuchang's reaction and Chu Lingchuan's were identical, both extremely wary. Why are the 2 of you like this? Chun Sansi smiled and said, I am just here to talk business with you both. A ship? Zenon was half believing. You just want me to help you build a passenger ship that can cross the Misty Sea? That's right, the more people it can accommodate, the better. Chun Sansi added. It would be even better if some flying ships could be made. Flying ships won't do. Zenon lightly shook her head. On one hand, I don't have the blueprints. On the other hand, my skill is currently not good enough to create large magic artifacts for flying. And besides, what do you need a large sea-crossing ship for? In the extreme south of the Sky-Water continent, there is the Misty Sea. I am planning to venture out for treasure hunting in a few years. Chun Sansi casually made up a reason and pushed a storage bag over. If Miss Zenon can help, these are just a deposit. Zenon picked up the storage bag, and after scanning the items inside with her divine sense, she was somewhat tempted. After thinking it over repeatedly, she finally decided to agree. Okay, I agree. But a big ship for over 2,000 people requires dragon bone, with over 500 years old as supporting material, which I don't have. You'll need to find it yourself. No problem. Chun Sansi agreed, then pushed a storage bag toward the sword catcher. Brother Deng, I hope you'll lend a hand. Hiss, you really are wealthy. No wonder you managed to grab a haul at that auction with those people. Deng Wuchang weighed the storage bag back and forth in his hand. Sking. But Zenon is just helping you make ships. I'm meant to help you kill. Isn't that your specialty? Chun Sansi added. And you recently broke through to the true power late stage, probably spent all your savings from the last 20 years, right? You must prepare for perfection, and even the subsequent golden body realm. Deal. Deng Wuchang pocketed the items. But let's be clear, if there's any life-threatening danger, I'll bolt immediately. No problem. There's no need for Brother Deng to risk his life, and ultimately everything will fall under the name Xiaofeng. No one will trace it back to you. Chun Sansi stood up, clasping his fist. Gentlemen, it's a deal. All right, I'll go back and prepare now. Zenan and Deng Wuchang dared not linger and left in a hurry. After making arrangements, Chan Sansi returned once more to Dusk Valley, closed himself in for cultivation while waiting for the opening of the Nine Nether Forbidden Zone. Unknowingly, another half a year passed. According to the time on the eastern continent, it was already mid-February of the 12th year of Tianwu. Cultivation technique. Swallowing fire technique. Foundation establishment early stage. Progress. 85/500. Chun Sansi opened his eyes, exhaling a long breath, then picked up the bow and arrow long missed, starting to practice archery aimed at the target in the distance. Divine skills. Arrow Tau, first rank. Progress. 755/2000. After practicing various skills, in his leisure time, Chun Sansi strolled within Dusk Valley, constantly keeping himself informed of the latest situations. Just as Shangguan Sihing said, recently, similar to the Luoxia Mountain auction, events were continuously being held all over, but with stricter security, making it impossible for them to be easily sabotaged again. And the missing persons were all blamed on the demon sect's 7-kill sect. In response to this, the Shangyun sect cannot simply ignore it. It still frequently sends people to investigate, but with no known connection, there's basically no gains. No one knows how many people the demon sect has converted during this time. Compared to this, Chun Sansi is more concerned about the sealing of the divine continent. In another 4 years, the restriction seal will loosen, and he still hasn't thought of a better solution. As he was considering how to make use of this time to prepare for possible upcoming crises, Dongfang Jingxing's voice came to his ears. "Your Majesty." Chun Sansi looked aside. What's the situation inside? The changes in the Forbidden Zone could only mean one of two things. First, the complete collapse of the secret realm after years of erosion. The slaves and I have not been able to enter yet, but it is certain that various sects combining with families have controlled and sealed the information, and it was only leaked today. With the continuous hosting of events similar to Dusk Valley by the Luoxia Mountain, the different sects and martial arts families have claimed various parts of this unowned secret realm, making it unapproachable for loose cultivators. Although the open rule suggests that in such unowned secret realms, whoever has the greatest power and numbers makes the decisions. It is said that there have been many third-rank treasures found, such as the Golden Essence mud figure, and several martial arts families from outside Beiyangdao have heard about it in advance and have rushed here. Golden Essence mud figure. Its effect is similar to assisting cultivators in forming a fake pill with the help of the demon locust tree heart, but it is specifically targeted at martial artists. If even such treasures emerged, then it is likely also that the dragon bone wood that Chan Sansi needs, as well as the earthly treasure purple vine and the demon locust tree heart which can help refine elixir pills to enhance cultivation, have a great chance of appearing. He wasted no time. Little bamboo, issue my decree. 9 Nether Forbidden Land. The wailing of souls, flags fluttering. Amidst a desolate mountain, several black-robed cultivators with masks gathered here. Is everything ready? Master Chow of the 7-Kill sect asked. Beside him, several cultivators above Foundation establishment replied in unison. Rest assured, Master Chow. Everything is prepared. The fish will certainly take the bait. Chow Dongjun nodded slightly. This time, the secret realm's disturbance has attracted many sect disciples. Keep a low profile to avoid excessive attention. Understood. But, should we keep an eye on the people from the Han court? Last time, to seize resources, they risked robbing our auction. This time, in the 9 Nether Forbidden Land, they will definitely come. Don't stir up more trouble. Those poor souls from barren lands will naturally be dealt with by those so-called orthodox sects. Once the seal breaks in a few years, none will escape. Master's words are true. Outside the Forbidden Land, subjects greet Your Majesty. Your Majesty, all 49 colonels of Skywall City are here, awaiting Your Majesty's orders. In the woods, 49 cultivators disguised in various forms saluted in unison. Rise. Chan Sansi, with hands behind his back, looked at everyone calmly and said, Little bamboo, tell them what to do. Listen carefully. Dongfang Jingxing issued a command. The Forbidden Land is now open. Everyone is to enter in batches. Each group consists of 7. Once inside, focus primarily on resource gathering. Proceed with caution. If you need to regroup, you will be signaled. Remember, the Forbidden Land trial is no child's play. Upon entering, life and death are your own responsibility. As you command. The 49 responded in unison. First team, Team Armor led by Wang Ji. Proceed. The rest stay and wait. With many from Skywall City, it's naturally impossible for everyone to swarm in at once, lest the commotion be too great and immediately detected. At the secret realm's entrance, 2 broken stone pillars still stood tall, but the teleportation gate they bridged no longer had spiritual power disruptions. The pale green vortex looked as if it was a cloud of miasma. From time to time, groups of 2 or 3 loose cultivators would cross the teleportation gate, disappearing as if stones thrown into the sea. Go! Wang Ji drew his Mo blade artifact and charged in first, followed closely by 6 subordinates, quickly vanishing without a trace. Chun Sansi, in disguise, waited alone nearby. Mr. Xiao. With his face covered, Deng Wuchang hurried over, looked around to confirm no one was there, and said, Quick, help me disguise as well. The more unlike myself, the better. Within moments, Chun Sansi transformed him into an elderly man. Hey! Deng Wuchang looked at his reflection in a puddle. You're really something. Even my father wouldn't recognize me. Let's go. Chun Sansi did not waste time. There are many things to do. The 2 stepped through the teleportation gate one after another. Buzz! Upon touching the teleportation gate, they heard the whistling of gale winds, felt a dizzying spin, and then lost their balance, as if falling into an endless abyss, until their feet sunk to a stop and everything around them ceased. When they reopened their eyes, what lay before them was a vast yellow wilderness under a gloomy sky. All that Chun Sansi could see was a landscape in the hue of yellow sand, mountains ravaged and desolate, ruins scattered everywhere, the ground littered with broken magical artifacts. Mysterious ghostly lights flickered, akin to demons and phantoms. Ancient battlefield. This was how the 9 Nether Forbidden Land was described in the records. This land was once a cave heaven-blessed land, where a great battle happened countless years ago, causing it to drift from its original place, appearing in Beiyang as today's 9 Nether Forbidden Land. Due to the laws within the Forbidden Land, cultivators above the Golden Core stage cannot enter. It's rumored that some areas even repel Foundation establishment cultivators. Furthermore, in any location, one might face attacks from ancient residual souls, which, despite being damaged, are extremely lethal. Carelessness can lead to death and destruction. I came here once 20 years ago, Deng Wuchang said, vigilantly scanning his surroundings. Even then, there weren't many second-tier treasures left. After all, this place had been harvested for thousands of years. Almost nothing of value remains, and the risk is immense. So subsequently, I didn't get involved much. I didn't expect so many to come because of this year's disturbance. Chun Sansi observed broken magical artifacts scattered haphazardly on the ground, mostly losing their spiritual nature, turning into scrap, having endured countless years, occasionally seeing 2 bodies. These bodies were fresh, recently deceased, likely due to treasure-seeking cultivators fighting each other. Watch out! Deng Wuchang's voice suddenly rang in Chun Sansi's ear. Even without him saying, Chun Sansi already sensed the anomaly. The Xian Yuan sword silently appeared in his hands, and he spun to stab fiercely with a surge of water, dispersing a skull that had quietly approached him into smoke. These are ancient residual souls. Deng Wuchang explained. No one knows what happened back then. It's said that hundreds of thousands perished in the ancient battles, a truly shocking number. Chun Sansi slowly sheathed his sword, scanning his surroundings. Having familiarized himself with records about the Forbidden Land beforehand, he could speculate there were still significant undiscovered secrets buried here. However, the immediate concern was where to seek out heavenly materials and earthly treasures. After they entered the Forbidden Land, they searched hundreds of miles in the directions of southeast, northwest, with almost no significant harvest, at most only some first-rank heavenly materials and earth treasures, all which were dispensable. Something's not right. Deng Wuchang squatted on the ground and casually pocketed a first-rank lingji. I heard before coming that there would be a large quantity of third-rank treasures emerging this time, but it's more barren than 20 years ago. What a lie! Brother Deng. Chunsansi flew to a high spot and overlooked the surrounding environment. Haven't you noticed that we've hardly encountered any sect disciples along the way? Now that you mention it, indeed. Deng Wuchang muttered. There should be quite a few sect cultivators here treasure hunting this time. The information has been locked down. Chunsansi said, we need to search deeper. After the Forbidden Land opened, the sect disciples locked the information and entered to explore days ahead. Since they're nowhere to be seen now, it indicates either they've died in some deserted corners, or discovered other hidden realms. Obviously, the latter is more probable. Mr. Xiao has a point. Deng Wuchang recalled carefully. I stayed in the secret realm for a full month last time. I'm quite familiar with the environment here. Let me take you to the most likely spot for hidden spaces. The two set off, and this search alone took a good half-day with no findings. Nothing again. Deng Wuchang climbed out of an empty underground cave and impatiently said, Mr. Xiao, maybe let's call it off. Whoever you want me to kill, let's hurry and return to the workshop. That mountain. Chunsansi gazed at the southernmost peak of the Forbidden Land. Its height pierced into the clouds literally, resembling a heavenly pillar connecting heaven and earth. Impossible to see the end. Not only the height, but its stretching width also engulfs the entire Forbidden Land. Like someone crafted an infinitely high wall at the edge of the Forbidden Land. Ancient records say this mountain is the Forbidden Land's edge, Yellowstone Mountain. You shouldn't go to Yellowstone Mountain. Deng Wuchang hastily said. It's rumored this mountain is the principal mountain. Even Foundation establishment cultivators will be suppressed to chi refinement there. Even if there are treasures occasionally, only chi refining cultivators go, no Foundation establishment cultivators approach. Go have a look around. Without waiting for a response, Chunsansi flew low directly toward Yellowstone Mountain. Hey! Deng Wuchang, feeling helpless, could only follow closely behind. As they got closer to the edge of the Forbidden Land, Yellowstone Mountain grew larger in view, making Chunsansi experience what truly means blocking out the sky and covering the sun. Also, he could noticeably feel an invisible suppression every 100 feet forward, stopping about 1,000 feet from the foot of the mountain, not daring to approach recklessly. Blue Bird. With spirit light flickering, a high Dongxing appeared on Chunsansi's arm. He instructed, go notify the people from Han Court, have them send someone to the mountain to check it out. Chirp! The blue bird nodded, and with spiritual power surging, the eagle instantly transformed into a stream of light, swiftly disappearing. Not to mention law suppression, since Chunsansi and Deng couldn't approach. Such a huge mountain is as futile as finding needles in a haystack. Indeed, even 50 people are merely 50 needles, insignificant against the vast sea. Yet one can only strive to try. If all else fails, we need to ambush sect disciples. See if we can catch someone alive, to ask about the emergence position of heavenly materials and earth treasures. Little white jade? Chunsansi took out the white jade spirit snake from his storage bag. It coiled around his arm and raised its head, watching him and constantly flicking its tongue. Surprised, he said, You want to lead the way? Hiss hiss. The white jade spirit snake nodded vigorously. Fine. Chunsansi knew that many spiritual beasts have keener intuitions regarding spiritual energy and laws than human cultivators, and they could only attempt it now. He held the spirit snake, using it as a compass. After several direction changes in mid-air, suddenly felt the suppression easing. There's an entrance. The Yellowstone Mountain extending thousands of miles is like a great wall, but there's a city gate in the middle of the Great Wall without any suppression. Good job, little white jade. Seems you're still useful. Chun Sansi tossed a few spirit stones into its mouth as a reward and gently landed on Yellowstone Mountain's surface. The mountain appeared ordinary from surface, but upon careful perception, one could discover each grass, wood, gravel, and stone exuding a faint pressure. Only the location where they stood lacked that power. How come there's still such a thing? Deng Wuchang confirmed no pressure and felt relieved. This definitely never happened before. Otherwise, someone would have discovered over hundreds and thousands of years. Chun Sansi gently placed the white snake down, and it continued moving through the pitch-black forest, leading the way. No one knew how far they went until a cave suddenly appeared ahead. He summoned 2 puppet tigers to inspect inside the cave, ensuring no danger before stepping in personally. Deng Wuchang took out a sapphire luminous pearl, illuminating the cave's interior, while closely following behind. The cave was barren, devoid of any living beings. Instead, there were corpses of second-tier fierce beasts, even their bones stripped clean. Clearly someone had been here. Mr. Shao, look over there. Deng Wuchang pointed at where the white snake stopped. Seems we can still go further. At the cave's end, a narrow crack in the rock wall revealed faint light through the gap, indicating an exit. With the white snake opening the way again, Chun Sansi followed closely. The crack was so narrow that one had to pass sideways reluctantly. He held an Earth Escape talisman in hand, poised for any emergencies. The process did not last long. After about a dozen breaths, the path widened. Light ahead became increasingly close, inevitably reminding him of the peach blossom source. Yet, as Chun Sansi stepped out of the crack, the sight that unfolded before him was nothing like the peach blossom source. This was not some serene utopia, but a vast ancient battlefield. Looking around, all were skeletal remains, swords like bamboo forests embedded in the ground. Wandering ghosts roamed in packs. Everything between heaven and earth was shrouded in gray mist, rivers of murky water interlaced, almost like 9 netherworld. Deng Wuchang, upon witnessing this scene, paused briefly. I know it. These past 6 months of Forbidden Land anomalies are caused by cracks appearing in Yellowstone Mountain, revealing the larger hidden realm behind. That seems right. Chun Sansi neither affirmed nor denied. He glanced around roughly, discovering the second secret realm surprisingly vast, almost endless, with numerous places continuously erupting spiritual power fluctuations. Good blade, really good blade. Deng Wuchang pulled out a purple treasure blade from among numerous magic artifacts, its quality vaguely nearing a 3rd-rank magical treasure, with its spiritual essence still intact and well-preserved. Innumerable magic artifacts such as these. This time, it's really a fortune. Deng Wuchang's eyes shined as he picked up lots of artifacts, soon filling the 2 storage bags he brought and strapping a large bundle on his back. Chun Sansi maintained a calm mindset. The storage bags are limited. There must be more treasures elsewhere. Otherwise, so many wouldn't be left, needing saving space indeed. Thus, he only chose the highest quality magic artifacts. After filling 2 storage bags, he did not continue. Brother Deng, let's keep moving forward. Chun Sansi had a very clear plan in his mind regarding the purpose of this trip. After crossing the Sword Forest and Blade Mountain, the view ahead opens up widely. Looking around, the rising and falling mountains are shrouded in a pale yellow mist, and from time to time, unknown spiritual beasts soar through the sky. Spiritual power fluctuations are constantly emanating from all directions. Demons! Kill them! Chun Sansi had not walked more than 5 miles when he encountered a group of ghosts. The number of blue wandering souls totaled 7 or 8, appearing as fragmented human shapes, all wielding flying swords, rushing forward as they sensed living people. The 3 realms and 6 paths, all ruined by you demons. Return our Taoist inheritance. You, demons. With fierce expressions, they wielded sword control technique, continuously roaring throughout the process. But whether due to the residual soul state or other reasons, their speech was broken and indistinct. Whoosh! Deng Wuchang's blade was unsheathed, splitting into two, one gold and one purple, one long and one short, as his breathing skill activated. His body inflated like a balloon, his special battle robe tightly clinging to his robust physique, hands turning into beast claws, his face becoming beastly. Lion hair, deer horn, camel head, and tiger ears. His entire body was dazzling gold, with neat scales arranged over his flesh. The beast breathing skill, similar to the Sima clan. What Deng Wuchang cultivated was the golden hoe breathing method. His feet stomped, sinking the ground several inches. His body transformed into golden light, swiftly charging into the ghost's ranks. The twin blade technique, combined with coherent true power, became a sharp tornado, wiping out all the residual souls swiftly. Throughout the ordeal, Chun Sansi didn't even lift a finger, simply praising, "Brother Deng, good saber technique." Indeed, Deng Wuchang showed no false modesty, reverting to his human race form. Luckily, these residual souls only had chi refinement cultivation. I heard secluded places appeared with residual souls near golden core cultivation early on. Who knows what may be inside a second-tier forbidden land? Best be cautious moving forward. After crossing several jungles, they found a slope filled with second-tier spirit plant. Hiss! Deng Wuchang winced. "My storage bag is full, Mr. Xiao. Can you lend me one?" In this secret realm abundant with treasures, storage bag values far exceed heavenly materials and earthly treasures alone. Chun Sansi had prepared well. Over the years, he had obtained numerous storage bags as spoils of war, bringing 13 with him on this forbidden land trip. Without reluctance, he handed over two. "Brother Deng, no need to rush. Unless meeting something exceedingly rare, it's unnecessary to waste space." "Many thanks." Ignoring etiquette, Deng Wuchang immediately filled the storage bag right away. Chun Sansi, however, selected only high-aged herbs, leaving the remainder to the Bluebird to relay the information for Skywall City's colonels to collect later. Soon after crossing the slope, he found the dragon bone wood, intended for crafting warships, located exactly where his research indicated. The tree appeared as countless bones tied together, with dragon scale-like bark, over 800 years old, suitable for creating large ferries accommodating 2,000. Yet it was too large to fit even in second-tier storage bags. Cutting it into pieces would waste precious material. Chun Sansi didn't hurry, prepared to summon subordinates to carry it out. An hour passed waiting. Deng Wuchang grew anxious, seeing a valuable spiritual beast passing by in the distance, eager to chase. "If Brother Deng wants to go, just be safe." Chun Sansi handed him a sensing charm, wearing it to perceive each other's summons and location, as effective as precious sound transmission talisman. This charm was purchased from old Moju. "All right." Deng Wuchang tucked the charm in his chest. "Rest assured, I'm honorable. I won't break my word for fortune. I'll return to assist you." Cherishing prospect, Chun Sansi watched him leave. He wasn't overly trusting, but some matters are futile in forcing, especially in fights or kills. Deliberate force risks contrary outcome, thus he allows natural flow. This chance could reveal the sword catcher's integrity after all. Another hour passed waiting. Finally arriving was Song Guizhi leading her team. "Greetings, Your Majesty. Take this dragon bone wood back," Chun Sansi instructed, slicing the tree down with a sword. "Yes, sir." Skywall City's colonels complied immediately. The dragon bone wood was valuable, not excessively rare, unsuitable for crafting offensive magic artifacts. Song Guizhi's escort suffices. Little bamboo, this 10,000 soul banner. Noticing the eunuch's magic artifact suddenly, Chun Sansi realized the Forbidden Land was abundant with residual souls, especially from ancient times, an ideal site for refining the 10,000 soul banner. "I've collected 100 souls." Dongfang Jingxing beamed. "At my current limit, I'd like to request to leave the Forbidden Land early, focusing on soul refinement." "Permission granted." Chun Sansi approved. Skywall City's young colonel's cultivation was modest. The trial aimed at cultivation enhancement, not leading them to their deaths. He left a bottle of elixir pills for the eunuch, then ventured solo deeper into the Forbidden Land, searching for one of the goals of this journey, the phoenix stone beast. This spirit plant is fond of growing on the shaded banks of the Great Water, usually devouring spiritual energy, and also feeds on spiritual beasts. There are quite a few turbid creeks within the double-layer forbidden zone, but if viewed from above, only one can truly be called a great river, so it's not too hard to find. Once the direction was locked in, Chun Sansi flew at low altitude at full speed, arriving at the west bank of the Nine Nether Great River in the shortest possible time, immediately realizing something was wrong. Because the resources on both banks of the Nine Nether River basin are too rich, and resource richness means it will attract a large number of cultivators competing fiercely. Spirit Silence Cave, Luoya Valley? Not far from Chun Sansi's landing spot, he saw disciples from two sects confronting each other, seemingly vying for a 1,000-year-old spirit plant. He didn't get involved, but quickened his pace to leave the area, officially starting his search along the riverbank for what he desired. Basically, every 5 miles he could see at least one corpse, some loose cultivators, some sect disciples, mostly dead from fighting over resources. Arrived a bit late. Chun Sansi noticed many excavation marks on the ground, couldn't help but quicken his steps, while concentrating, using his tracking stealth skill to its fullest. The phoenix stone beast itself doesn't move, but its pollen can attract a spiritual beast known as Greedy Moon Wolf to approach. He could determine common gathering places for phoenix stone beasts based on the droppings, tracks, and hair of greedy moon wolves. The skill learned back at Payong Tiger Head Mountain during a meal is still helping him now. After searching 100 miles, the surrounding terrain became extremely flat, the environment became lush, and the concentration of spiritual energy had reached the 3rd stage. This was the first time Chun Sansi had encountered 3rd stage spiritual energy, feeling as comfortable as a fish in water, even contemplated cultivating within the Forbidden Zone. But this is, of course, idle talk. The Nine Nether Forbidden Zone will close at most in 2 months, and spiritual power storms are commonplace. Staying behind would surely lead to death within half a year. Got it. Chun Sansi's eyes lit up. He entered a breath-concealing state, crouched gently behind a patch of grass, and cast his vision forward, seeing a spirit beast wolf with silver all over its fur, wagging its tail, sniffing the ground for something. In front of it was a magnificent spirit flower towering over a person, with bright red petals shaped irregularly, yet combined to resemble a resting phoenix, hence the name Phoenix Stone Beast. The greedy moon wolf unwittingly came to the phoenix's underside, sniffed repeatedly only to find a poisonous plant, instantly showing great disappointment, baring its teeth, then planning to leave. Just then, the phoenix above suddenly came alive. From what should be the flower core area opened a huge blood-red mouth full of white fangs. In the blink of an eye swallowed the greedy moon wolf, leaving only half of its tail swaying slightly by its mouth. The phoenix stone beast has no aggression right after feeding, making it the best time for picking. Alas, it seemed to be only 400 to 500 years old. Phoenix stone beasts are rare, and besides them eating spiritual beasts, herbivorous spiritual beasts also eat them, so naturally grown ones seldom live past 300 years. This one at 500 is already rare. Later, he could search again. If not possible, he could take it back home, and use the divine wood spirit liquid promised by family to hasten it to 1,000 years. What's this? Chun Sansi diverted his gaze from the phoenix stone beast to farther grassland, spotted an inconspicuous stone horn, resembling a rhinoceros horn. A mature spirit rhinoceros horn. This item, like the undying grass and jingshan fruit, is among the heavenly materials and earthly treasures for opening the scenic god. It truly came effortlessly. As he prepared to move, his ear twitched slightly, sensing a sound rapidly approaching from above, instinctively pulling out his bow and arrow, while crouching lower to completely hide within the grass. About 3 to 5 breaths later, he saw 3 black-robed cultivators arriving at the location, forming hand signs to stop the magic artifact, then landed stably. This person. Chun Sansi immediately recognized the leading black-robed cultivator as the one who killed Wu Wei using a black goo insect on the day at Luoxia Mountain. After returning, he checked the records and learned that the goo insect was called magic-eating cicada, capable of absorbing mana and storing it within, then self-destructing upon approaching an enemy to attack. The 7-kill sect is also in the Forbidden Zone, which is quite expected. This time the 9 Nether Forbidden Zone occurrence is rare, happening once every 500 years, so anyone who received news and made it in time would want to try their luck. Vice Hall Master. A cultivator in a black robe spoke. That old undying of the Bai family has already arrived in the secret realm. I hope the Vice Hall Master can get to Night Spring Pond quickly. So soon. Qiu Yen nodded. I understand. Once we finish collecting everything nearby, I'll head over immediately. Spirit Rhinoceros Horn, Phoenix Stone Beast. Another person exclaimed with joy. Master, these are all valuable items. Ha! Indeed. Qiu Yen stroked the beard on his chin. Who would have thought there was a second layer in the completely looted 9 Nether Forbidden Land? This time we've really struck it rich. What are you standing there for? Quickly go gather the items and then meet up with the sect master. Disciple obeys. The 2 cultivators began to busy themselves separately. Listening to their conversation, Chun Sansi began to ponder. The old undying of the Bai family? Bai Shifeng? Are these people planning to target the Bai family? He didn't have much time to think, as the demon cultivator in front of him had already uprooted the spirit rhinoceros horn and was about to take the phoenix stone beast. The purple thunder bow instantly reached perfection, and 4 flying swords shot out with a roar. Qiu Yan's hand froze in front of the phoenix stone beast, his heart startled. He quickly reacted by summoning a luminous cover to protect himself. Boom! The 4 flying swords, carrying vast and mighty mana, descended. The terrifying power stirred up a storm, lifting gravel for dozens of yards around, as if even the earth were about to be upheaved. But Qiu Yan, protected by the 2nd-tier mid-grade magic device Sand Gold Luminous Cover, was unharmed, though a faint crack appeared on the surface of the magic device. Xiao Feng, it's you? He looked at the figure that suddenly appeared in front of him and recognized it as the person he encountered that day at Luoxia Mountain. Instantly, he waved his hand, causing the luminous cover in front of him to disappear, replaced by a fierce beast entirely black, resembling a tiger but with 2 heads, charging straight towards the figure ahead. Double-headed, soul-devouring tiger. Roar! As the soul-devouring tiger ran, one head spewed rolling blood mist, while the other head roared towards the sky. The sound waves surged like monstrous waves, coincidentally affecting a passing fire spirit bird. Engulfed by the sound, it plummeted straight to the ground, subsequently swallowed by the blood mist, turning into a pile of bones in the blink of an eye. This fire spirit bird, also a 2nd-tier spiritual beast of profound body realm, was utterly powerless in defense. The double-headed soul-devouring tiger's roar could directly attack a person's divine sense, causing dizziness or even death, after which it could absorb the target's flesh and soul with the soul-devouring blood mist. Raising this beast requires feeding it with infants day and night and refining living cultivators' souls, making it more brutal than the 10,000 soul banner. Thick Earth Decision. Chun Sansi was no longer a newcomer to cultivation, fully aware of this fierce beast's menace. He had long sealed his sense of hearing and summoned a shield. But the double-headed soul-devouring tiger's attack directly targeted the divine sense, rendering all this futile. The instant he encountered the sound wave, Chun Sansi felt a tearing pain in his brain as if it would explode. His body became heavy and stiff, nearly fainting on the spot. Fortunately, he had mastered various skills: talisman, formation, alchemy, and even the heavenly destiny of 10,000 soldiers, each enhancing the strength of his divine sense. All these accumulations made Chun Sansi's divine sense by far stronger than that of cultivators at the same level. After roughly a breath of dizziness, he regained most of his senses, crushed a talisman, and burrowed into the earth, narrowly escaping the overwhelming blood mist. The spot where he originally stood, the soil along with the vegetation, turned black under the corrosion of the blood mist. What? Qiu Yan was somewhat surprised. Facing a cultivator of the same level at close range, it was the first time his double-headed soul-devouring tiger had failed. Again, Qiu Yen immediately commanded the soul-devouring beast. Having learned from his previous mistake, Chun Sansi was prepared. His purple thunder bow bent like a full moon, and several golden scale flying blades shot out in succession, directly piercing into the mouth of the soul-devouring beast. Roar! The sharp blades cut through the softest part of its mouth, and the roar of the two-headed soul-devouring beast turned into a wail. Blood gushed from the mouth of the left head, while only the right head spewed a dense mist of blood. Although the blood mist covered a wide range, it did not spread quickly. Chun Sansi easily broke free, and the purple thunder bow in his hand transformed into the Shenyuan sword. Water element true power surged from the void, ready to strike the troublesome twin-headed soul-devouring beast. The other two black-robed cultivators did not stand idly by. Each brandished a flying knife surrounded by blood chi, attempting to attack the bow-wielding cultivator from both sides, creating an opportunity for their hall master. However, as their flying knives descended, the cultivator opposite seemed to truly twist like flowing water, vanishing in the narrow gap between the two knives. When he reappeared, he was already behind them. Swish! The Shenyuan sword flashed, and the sound of a babbling brook echoed in their ears, the water winding past as the heads of the two black-robed cultivators fell to the ground. Chun Sansi smoothly reached the soul-devouring beast. The sword flashed, cutting off the left head capable of launching a divine sense attack. Then he fluidly turned to pierce the other ferocious beast head. But at that moment, he noticed a pitch-black goo insect had appeared beside him, getting perilously close before he realized it due to his damaged divine sense. Thick earth decision. Golden light gleamed, and the earth's soil formed a shield in front of him. Almost simultaneously, the magic-eating cicada suspended in the air exploded, unleashing a tsunami of evil chi, even twisting the void itself. Chun Sansi, along with the evil chi-shrouded shield, stumbled backward, seeing Qiu Yen already approaching swiftly. He immediately clasped his hands to form a mantra. Densely packed sword chi surged from behind, merged into one, transforming into a gigantic sword that descended from the sky. Qiu Yen, in mid-charge, had to summon the luminous cover again to withstand the enormous sword descending straight down. Boom! After several rounds of confrontation, both sides distanced themselves. Qiu Yen withdrew the luminous cover, placed one hand behind his back, and silently crushed a sensing talisman to call for help from his fellow sect members at the Seven Killings sect. Meanwhile, he spoke to stall for time. Taoist Xiao, the forbidden place is full of treasures. There's no need for us to fight to the death. Why don't we both take a step back and split the spoils evenly? Bang! Chun Sansi's chi observation skill had long noticed the fluctuation of the talisman. Not wasting any time, he stepped forward as if boating across the sea, both hands gripping the sword, swinging it behind him. The surging waves layered on the sword edge, amassing to the utmost before sweeping explosively forward, true power surging like mountains and seas. Seeing words were futile, Qiu Yen had to summon his life-bound magical artifact, a crescent moon curved blade. As it spun, it truly seemed to become a blood moon, emitting a strong, bloodthirsty evil chi, clashing against the torrential river. Clang! The sound of metal clashing echoed through the mountains, and living creatures within a few miles no longer dared to approach. In one exchange, both sides retreated over 100 steps. Chun Sansi's legs embedded in the earth plowed 2 furrows into the thick earth. Qiu Yen, on the other hand, landed steadily on the treetop of a locust tree after continuously flipping to dissipate his momentum. His opponent was mid-stage foundation establishment, while Chun Sansi's combined immortal martial capabilities were not weaker than this level. As long as he was cautious of his opponent's strange methods and fought steadily, he could surely win. But there might not be much time. It's highly likely that the demon cultivator had already sought help from his sect mates. If this drags on, it could be dangerous. It was clear this was Qiu Yan's plan, standing still at the treetop, always ready to defend, intending to drag things out. The nearest sect mates to this place would arrive within the time it takes to drink a cup of tea. If the commotion grows larger, more people will notice. Not only the Seven Killing sect wants Xiaofeng dead, but the entire Beiyang Dao and all prominent Orthodox sects do. Because he is involved with the Han court of the Eastern continent. Xiaofeng, your identity is exposed. You're doomed. Qiu Yan squinted and said, the only way to survive now is to join our Seven Killings sect. As long as you agree, you will not lack benefits. Tianhe sword skill 9 heavens waterfall. Splash! Chen Sansi didn't utter a word of nonsense. After stabilizing his form, he soared into the sky again. The Shenyuan iron sword roared incessantly, like a divine beast emerging from water, riding the stormy waves as it swept forward. Immortal and martial dual cultivation, truly a character. While Qiu Yan imbued his curved blade with mana, he sneered, if this drags on like this, I might not be your match, but within 20 rounds, you absolutely won't be able to hurt me. Devour soul. The curved blade in front of him spun again, transforming into a crimson moon that sliced forward, while the two-headed soul-devouring beast, now missing a head, roared as it leapt into the air. Blades and swords collided. Mana churned. Qiu Yan's hands, forming the sword control technique, trembled constantly, feeling as if facing mountains and flooding torrents alone. But with all his might, he ultimately managed to withstand it. But just as he breathed a slight sigh of relief, he suddenly felt the mountain above him turn incredibly hot, like it turned into a flame mountain, and the opponent's true power no longer surged like a flood, but like a raging sea of fire. Another type of true power? Qiu Yan watched as the water flow around his opponent's iron sword evaporated completely, replaced by scorching flames and overwhelmingly powerful sword qi. Dragon Abyss. Unsheath. Boom! The Dragon Abyss sword was suddenly drawn. The sword edge swept across, and in an instant, it was as if a divine dragon emerged from the abyss, its majestic power overlooking everything. Caught off guard, Qiu Yan's life-bound magical artifact almost lost control under the impact, urgently enhancing his spell with several talismans, barely managing to support it. But the opponent's attack was not over. First, a cold gleam flashed, followed by a massive dragon head carrying burning sky fire instantly filling his pupils. Against the demon cultivator stood Chen Sansi, who had long switched from wielding a sword in both hands to holding a spear in one hand and Dragon Abyss in the other. The true power surrounding him also transformed into the fire element. Qiu Yan flew backward like an iron ball, crashing through several trees, then slammed heavily onto a huge rock, embedding into it, causing the rock to shatter under the terrifying impact, raising a cloud of dust. Roar! The soul-devouring beast lunged, opened its bloody maw, ready to spray poison fog at close range, making it unavoidable. But just as it opened its mouth, a bright silver spear pierced through, then penetrated the entire head. Chen Sansi stood on one leg at the treetop, wielding the beast's massive struggling body with the spear. Burning sky fire burned down the spear, quickly reducing most of the body to ashes, the remaining half crashing to the ground, lifeless. Who are you? From hundreds of steps away, Qiu Yan stood trembling, his face covered in blood, looking up at the scene with astonishment, speaking incoherently. You're not Xiaofeng, you're Han Court's Chun Lei. It's you. No wonder you're so connected with the people of the Eastern continent. He had no more will to fight, directly stepping onto a flight puppet, reinforced with many spirit stones, intending to escape from there. You're doomed. Everyone in the Sky-Water continent wants to kill you. 9 nether forbidden land will be your burial ground. Heh! Chen Sansi's 7 orifices were filled with flames. He let out a cold laugh. You'd better worry about yourself first. Spirit light flashed, and the white swan horse neighed out. He rode behind the mount, casting spells with both hands, executing the wind-splitting seal, and the warhorse beneath him transformed into a stream of light. In no time, he caught up to the black-robed cultivator from behind, thrusting fiercely. Such fast escape speed! Qiu Yan lamented in his heart, hurriedly turning to block with his blade technique. Barely withstanding the gun blade, Dragon Abyss buzzing as it fell, he could only retreat and fight. In mid-air, A blood-red moon and two fire dragons fought fiercely. No matter how fierce the opponent's spear technique was, nor how sharp the divine sword was, Qiu Yan, as a mid-stage foundation establishment cultivator, should have been able to endure for a long time. But as time went on, he gradually discovered something terrifying. His mana was being exhausted. The fire, the opponent's true power. Chen's true power had a special effect, infiltrating his meridians and dantian during the exchange, constantly burning his mana. Qiu Yan panicked inside, causing an error in his blade spell. Chun Sansi instantly seized the flaw. The spear pierced his opponent's shoulder, flames scorching the flesh, making a sizzling sound. Qiu Yan wailed, losing control of his magical artifact, plummeting into the forest like a bird with broken wings. Chun Sansi switched to sword flight, diving down, the long Dan bright silver spear in hand, closely following to claim his life. Thud! A dull thud. Qiu Yan, along with the luminous cover he summoned, crashed heavily, creating a huge pit on the surface. He kneeled on one knee, nearly hysterically shouting, trying to get others' attention. Hiding inside was of any use. Chun Sansi naturally wouldn't let him succeed. After several futile bombardments with the Dragon Abyss Sword and Long Dan Bright Silver Spear, he summoned the Yama Seal obtained from Zhang Sun Miao. Boom! Yama Seal's array patterns lit up. The four divine beasts engraved above spewed out eerie green flames, with countless sinister souls within, clawing and biting at the luminous cover. In addition, Chun Sansi formed seals with both hands, summoning another type of flame from within him, the 10,000 Beasts Fierce Fire. Een Soul Netherworld Fire and 10,000 Beasts Fierce Fire. The two flames completely wrapped the luminous cover, looking as if refining a pill furnace. It must be admitted, this second-tier defensive magical artifact had excellent defensive power. Even so, it wasn't immediately destroyed, still steadily sheltering its owner. But unfortunately, it didn't seem heat-proof. Inside the luminous cover, Qiu Yan felt like he was in a large boiling pot. Even the ground was scorching hot. He floated in mid-air, casting spells with a hideous expression to resist the abnormal fire's burning. Coupled with the remaining burning sky fire in his body, being tormented by 3 abnormal fires was almost unbearable. After 20 breaths, Qiu Yan finally couldn't hold on anymore. He crushed the last protective talisman and removed the luminous cover, intending to escape, but was pierced through the heart by a spear. He held his chest in extreme reluctance, feeling his heart burning out, and his vision went black as his head drooped powerlessly. Finally dead. Chun Sansi sighed. If that hadn't worked, he would have had to resort to the immortal treasure Strange Fire. After extracting the opponent's storage bag, Chun Sansi unleashed another 10,000 Beast Fierce Fire, burning the body to ashes. Then, he returned to the previous location, retrieved the spirit rhinoceros horn, uprooted the phoenix stone beast, and performed the wind-splitting seal, departing from the area at top speed. In less than half a tea's time, 5 or 6 devil cultivators from the demon sect arrived and immediately felt something was wrong as they looked at the chaotic scene. Where's the Vice Hall Master? Quick search. Is this heap of ash possibly? A demon cultivator squatted before the bones not yet processed, sensing Qiu Yan's aura, and angrily shouted. Who dares kill a 7-killing sect disciple? It's probably not someone from a notable sect. Otherwise, they wouldn't run so fast. Is it the demon-slaying sect? Or Xiaofeng? Hall Master, what should we do? Everyone looked towards the silent leader. Dead is dead. Chao Dongjun spoke in a raspy voice. I've long said, do not act alone during this forbidden area trip. Don't covet treasures. Do well in the task, and in the future, when we seize the Bai family's possessions, what resources won't we obtain? But you just wouldn't listen. Consider it a lesson for you all. But, the group cautiously said, but Hall Master, should this matter just end like this? It's just the demon-slaying sect or Han court folks who did it. We can settle accounts eventually. As Chao Dongjun spoke, he noticed someone approaching. Hurry! If the sect disciples entangle us, things will get troublesome. Yes, the group left before many notable sect cultivators could arrive. Several Guiyuan sect disciples soon landed softly. Chen Qiren stroked his chin. What's here? The fight was intense enough. Phoenix Stone Beast. Cui Jichen bent down, picking up a petal. Yes, it should be for this. Seems we arrived a step too late. Chen Qiren felt it was unfortunate. Cui Jichen was indifferent. It's fine. In this double-layer forbidden area, there are countless millennia-old spirit plants. We should search more. Speaking of which, Chen Qiren muttered, I've heard for the past 2 years, Skywall cities people have shown signs of activity nearby. Could they also be coming into the forbidden area? Don't mind them. Cui Jichen dismissed. Fall gum grasshoppers. Can't hop for many days. Indeed. Chen Qiren quickly followed. Within a few years, the ancient relics will break open the seal, then will avenge the past. Moreover, my master has promised that the great Shang dynasty will be rebuilt, letting Chao Ji and the Chao family manage it. Who said about restoring the nation? Cui Jichen asked curiously. This time's ancient relics have contributions from many immortal sects. If the seal is truly broken and the eastern continent is occupied, internal resources will need redistribution. Including the royal court assisting in managing mortal affairs also a critical part. Guiyuan sect is not particularly special among many immortal gates, nor the most contributing. How could they readily agree to return the territories to the Chao family? Indeed, in conversation, Chen Qiren also found it strange. Spirit rhinoceros horn, phoenix stone beast. After arriving at a remote and uninhabited place, Chun Sansi quietly checked his loot. The spirit rhinoceros horn was fully matured, capable of enhancing a true power warrior. The phoenix stone beast was 500 years old, and upon returning, he would need to use the Bai family's divine with spirit liquid to accelerate its maturity to a 1,000-year medicinal age. In any case, both items were successfully obtained. Next, the only thing left within the target is the earth spirit purple vine. Of course, finding more precious resources is naturally a good thing, such as materials for crafting elixir pills to enhance cultivation, including heavenly materials and earthly treasures for foundation establishment pills. It's important to know, in a few years, there should be quite a few people waiting for foundation establishment in Skywall City, and by then, foundation establishment pills will also be a big problem. Since he wanted to oppose heavenly water, he naturally couldn't do it alone. 7 Kill Sect. Chun Sansi recalled the conversation he had heard earlier. These demon cultivators seemed intent on attacking the Bai family ancestor. However, as far as he knew, Bai Shifeng had been in long-term seclusion many years ago and hadn't stepped out of Dusk Valley again. The reason being fear of unexpected events while out, leaving the Bai family unprotected. No matter what was hidden inside Dusk Valley, as long as Bai Shifeng was present, it would require a golden core cultivator to solve it. When a golden core cultivator makes a move, it makes a big commotion, quickly causing a stir known across the land. By then, who the item ends up with won't be decided by the Demon Suppression Department or the 7 Kill Sect. Therefore, they wanted to lure Bai Shifeng here to eliminate him. But what should be used as bait? Gold Essence Mud Sculpture. Chun Sansi suddenly remembered. Soon after the forbidden area opened, there was news that a demon locust tree heart and a gold essence mud sculpture appeared inside the 2-layer secret realm. The former helps a foundation establishment cultivator condense a fake pill, while the latter can help a true power warrior forge a mud sculpture golden body, which is the pseudo-golden body realm. This makes sense. Only a gold essence mud sculpture could lure Bai Shifeng in. If the Bai family could produce a martial artist in the golden body realm, it would be akin to having a bargaining chip, and naturally the Demon Suppression Department or other forces wouldn't dare to act rashly. I must find a way to inform the Bai family members. Chun Sansi pondered in his heart. In the current situation, the Bai family is considered an ally, and he naturally couldn't stand by and do nothing. He immediately summoned a blue bird, ordering it to have someone leave the secret realm and head to Dusk Valley to report the news. But if Bai Shifeng had already entered the forbidden area, He feared he might be powerless to help, and judging from the earlier conversations, it was indeed too late. Night Spring Pond. This was where the demon sect set their ambush. Chon Sansi didn't have the map of the two-layer forbidden area and wasn't sure where Night Spring Pond was. He could only search around. Fortunately, there weren't many pond waters in the two-layer forbidden area, and he could see from a high altitude that there were only about 3 to 5 areas with ponds, so he began searching from east to west. It didn't take much effort. Just by the next morning, Chun Sansi confirmed he found the right place because nearby high realm cultivators obviously increased. Foundation establishment middle stage cultivators, not to mention mid to late stage true power warriors, were searching in groups nearby, wary of each other, clearly looking for some treasure. Most of these cultivators were from outside Beiyangdao. Some were sect disciples, but most were foreign family cultivators and loose cultivators. I heard there have been quite a few third-tier treasures appearing around here. Everyone must keep an eye out. Yeah, Su family master from Korok Dao successfully seized the demon locust tree heart and has now hurried back to form a fake pill under the protection of Spirit Silence Cave. Looks like the Su family will have several more centuries of prosperity. 9 Nether Blood Orchid. A cultivator noticed a small blood-red orchid by a puddle in front and was immediately overjoyed. But before he could approach, a figure arrived ahead of him and directly pocketed the blood orchid. Taoist, I found this item first. Isn't it a bit unfair of you to take it? Bullshit. Last time I found the demon locust tree heart first. How is it not mine? That's because you lacked capability. Oh? So, you think you're capable? Dong! As the two argued, a third cultivator sneaked an attack on the one who collected the orchid, leading to more people joining in, causing a chaotic battle to break out suddenly. Chun Sansi didn't participate and continued searching nearby, hoping to meet by Shifeng in advance to inform him to leave immediately. Unfortunately, he couldn't manage to do so, since the Bai family ancestor dared to venture into the two-layer forbidden area. It showed he must have prepared in advance. How could he easily expose his identity? Until the chaotic battle ended, countless cultivators had died. The final owner of the 9 Nether Blood Orchid was a fat Foundation establishment middle-stage cultivator, though severely injured, quickly finding a self-deemed safe route, using the invisibility technique to leave. Chances are bleak. Chun Sansi slightly shook his head. Through the Qi observation skill, he saw people already lurking in the shadows, waiting for the mantis to catch the cicada, with the yellow sparrow following behind, having already pursued him. Only a few corpses and broken magic artifacts remained, instantly turning the place deathly silent. Chun Sansi continued forward, discovering that the far-off broken stone tablet surface was inscribed with a large night and half of pond, with a gap just the size of a word in between. Presumably, this was the Night Spring Pond. But there was no water in the pond in the distance. Instead, it was dried up, whereas the surrounding ground was a wet swamp. Walking on it required lifting one's chi. Otherwise, carelessly one could sink in. The landscape around here just so happens to be the favored living environment for the earth spirit purple vine. Chun Sansi couldn't help but focus, searching for people while he explored. As time continued to pass, the yellow sandy-colored sun in the forbidden area gradually set, and the surrounding light dimmed, making the secret realm, originally an ancient battlefield, feel even more eerie. Meanwhile, Chun Sansi sensed the marshlands underfoot rapidly solidifying, as though some mystic force was drawing out all the moisture from the soil. The once dried-up bottom of the pond began bubbling out water. Night Spring Pond. Night Spring Pond. It turns out it refers to the changes in pond water during day-night transitions. Chun Sansi suddenly realized. At the same time, he finally found what he had been searching for. Approximately 100 paces away, a giant rock was entwined with purple spiritual plants like a flying snake, its surface covered with leaves resembling maple leaves, along with thorns all over. Earth Spirit Purple Vine. The location of this thing wasn't very concealed, and it surely had been found in the past few days, as evidenced by the nearby footprints. But to the vast majority it was simply a useless appendage, therefore no one picked it. Without delay, Chun Sansi lightly tapped his foot and gracefully arrived in front of the rock, excavating the main roots of the Earth Spirit Purple Vine to store in a separate storage bag. Mission accomplished. His journey to the Forbidden Area met the minimal resource requirements, and all upcoming gains would be considered surprises. Moreover, Chun Sansi had already sent people to search for the whereabouts of the Guyuan sect disciples, ensuring everyone stays behind before his departure. He lingered at the night spring pond from day to night, yet he hadn't spotted any signs of demon cultivators, but saw at times 2 cultivators flying overhead. His subordinates from Skywall City reported back, saying they had notified Dusk Valley, but as he expected, it was too late as the Bai family ancestor had already sneaked into the Forbidden Area alone. Having thought it through deeply, Chun Sansi decided to wait a bit longer. Activating his concealment state, he applied multiple, concealing talismans bought from old Mo. His whole presence vanished like a corpse. If the mud sculpture golden body appears first, cause a commotion for warning. If Bai Shifeng shows up first, remind him face to face. Even if the 7 kill sect arrives first, if within my ability, I should lend assistance. With a plan set in mind, Chun Sansi quietly stayed low. At night, the number of wandering souls multiplied inside the Forbidden Area, passing by every half-incense stick. Moreover, the wandering souls seemed to have factions, encountering each other leading to fierce battles. Demon, return my Taoist inheritance. Fight them. In this kind of mutual slaughter, the remaining large number of wandering souls in the Forbidden Area indicated the vast number of participants in the ancient war. Chun Sansi observed that these wandering souls generally lacked consciousness, being more akin to remnants of persistent obsessions rather than the rare ghost cultivators of Skywater Continent, repeating speech and actions endlessly. Yet it was unclear the reason behind the ancient battle in the 9 Nether Forbidden Area, the parties involved, and why the cultivation world lacked any records. Here they come. The subtle mana fluctuations brought Chun Sansi back to focus. About 100 zhang away, around 7 or 8 black-robed cultivators descended slowly, seemingly rehearsed numerous times, moving with skill and cooperation to scatter into different positions and set up the array plates and array flags. Among them were late-stage Foundation establishment cultivators. I'm afraid I can't be of much help. Chun Sansi dared not act recklessly as he couldn't kill the opponents, for there was only one exit from this forbidden area, and being blocked outside would render any escape technique useless. He had no choice but to continue observing secretly. After setting up the formation, the leading cultivator tossed a black seed onto the ground, then swiftly spread out in different directions, vanishing instantly. Once the trap was set, the black seed as bait emitted a crimson mist under the night sky, carrying a faint, enticing fragrance, quickly enveloping tens of zhang in the area. Gurgle! At the heart of the night spring pond, a large number of bubbles rose as if boiling, followed by a swift black shadow leaping from the pond, landing gently on the shore, and in a blink arriving at the formation's core. Only then did Chun Sansi finally see the true form of the shadow. It was a mud doll. Indeed, solely from appearance, it was nothing more than a naked mud doll, just the size of a forearm, running with a protruding round belly. Yet through Qi observation skill, one could see it housed intensely concentrated unique spiritual power nearly forming a solid mud sculpture golden body, an extraordinarily rare precious spirit creature, naturally born by absorbing nature's spiritual energy and Earth's gold essence. Upon refining could aid a martial artist in achieving a mud sculpture golden body. Such a small creature required at least over 2,000 years of growth. Due to its unique nature, it couldn't be fast-tracked by any means. The mud sculpture golden body stood on the ground, peering around, and finding no danger, picked up the black seed, and swallowed it whole, made a burping gesture, then began frolicking nearby. Its earth escape technique was remarkably swift, appearing 100 paces away in a blink, flipping over a rock with its slender arm, revealing several supreme magic artifacts. Casually picking up a flying sword, the mud sculpture golden body sat on the ground again, crunching it to pieces and swallowing them. This spirit creature absorbed not only nature's spiritual energy but also heavenly materials and earthly treasures and high-grade metals alike. After scurrying back and forth, consuming many random things, the mud sculpture golden body finally felt weary, its speed slowing down, wobbly heading to the pond to rest at the bottom. But just at this moment, suddenly, golden light tore through the night sky. A broken beggar's bowl descended from above, aiming to trap the mud doll fully within it. Aghast, the mud sculpture golden body plunged into the earth attempting an earth-tunneling escape, only to hear a thump, colliding with something solid, rebounding forcefully, and sat on the ground holding its head crying. Delayed for just a moment, the beggar's bowl landed seamlessly, trapping it inside with no way up nor down. Hee. A satisfied chuckle resounded. A one-armed elder light as a feather emerged from the darkness, picking up the beggar's bowl in hand. Searched high and low, yet found without effort. Little rascal. For capturing you, old man spent untold spirit stones and effort on sealing soil talisman and sky bowl. Bai Shifeng. Chun Sansi quickly pondered how he could warn the Bai family ancestor and still retreat safely. In the end, he had no choice but to entrust the task to the blue bird. Screech! In the silent night, a series of piercing cries abruptly erupted, growing ever more urgent, jolting everyone's hearts. Bai Shifeng furrowed his brow, sensing something amiss, immediately attempted to leave, but alas, it was too late. Array activate. A stern shout followed as blood-red lights emerged, like heaven and earth net, instantly encompassing the entire night spring pond region. Meanwhile, not long hidden 7-kill sect cultivators appeared in unison. Old fool. Finally trapped you out. Alas. Bai Shifeng let out a bitter laugh. Old man knew the mud sculpture golden body's news probably came from you. Since you already know, why waste words? The leading demon cultivator hovered in midair. Bai Shifeng, you won't escape today. Surrender your things sincerely, and ensure your Bai family legacy continues.